Hey Gatemen fans, welcome into the Gatemen Baseball Network as the Wareham Gatemen look to stay undefeated following a tie with the Bourne Braves yesterday 2-2 and a win over Hyannis in the first game of the season. That was a 2-1 score. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. We'll be on the broadcast with you for the entirety of today's game at Eldridge Park as the Wareham Gatemen take on the Orleans Firebirds. And Alex, the first road game of the season, and Wareham looks to keep it going, and they did so against Bourne. Yes, it was a tie, but ultimately it wasn't a loss, and they were able to pick up a point.
I think anytime you don't lose, it's a good day. Yeah, it's a tie, but that's the reality of what we are in the 2022 Cape Cod season. There are ties in the regular season, but that's okay because, especially in their case, the Gatemen's case, they haven't lost a game yet. So undefeated for sure.
Right, and on the other side, the Orleans Firebirds come in at 0-1-1, tied against Yarmouth Dennis, the Red Sox, in their opening day matchup here at Eldridge Park, and in the second game ended up losing to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the road 3-0. Both these teams have really just struggled to hit a combined 15 hits throughout the first two games between these two teams. How do these two teams get off the schneid?
I think it's to rely on the pitching. Obviously, you don't want to rely too much on the pitching because you get into the same case to where it is yesterday. But especially here today, it's a key to just hope to get the bats going.
Hey, well, that's what both teams are hoping to do, and our own Claire Foley caught up with one of the bats that couldn't get going yesterday. Won't be in the lineup today, but maybe we could see him as a pinch hitter. That's Connor O'Brien.
Here with Connor O'Brien. Connor, you had a couple good picks last night. How's it feel to get back out in the field?
It's great. It's really cool to play with a special group of guys. Just really cool playing in some really great competition and seeing what else is out there.
Awesome. So your spring season was pretty solid on both sides of the field. Is there anything specific, any specific area you want to work on this summer, or just overall?
I think just growing with my approach and just becoming more mature with my approach, playing against some of the top pitchers in the country, and just enjoying my time out here.
So yeah, as a first baseman specifically, are there different things you have to do over at first to adjust to this level compared to when you're at school?
No, you got to think of it as the same game. Playing loose is kind of my methodology of playing. So I just think having a loose vibe and just enjoying my time on the field, and I tend to play better when I play loose.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
What a beautiful rendition of our national anthem here at sunny Eldridge Park. Again, with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Really good scene here with the cars behind us on the main road, Eldridge Park, set under the sun. And Alex, it's going to be a great game of baseball. Let's go over the lineups first for the Orleans Firebirds. And all 9 are sophomores, starting off with Travis Honeyman out of Boston College in the 2-hole. It's Luke Keishel, and then Jacob Wilson to Jake Cunningham batting cleanup. Kevin Sim out of the University of San Diego leads this team in batting average. He's out of the 5-hole. Bennett Lee will catch behind him in the 6-hole. Jacob Stinson out of the University of Nevada in the 7-hole behind him. It's Diego Beccario and Nate Furman out of the 9-hole. And for your Wareham Gatemen, the lineup for Harvey Shapiro in his 24th season in the Cape Cod Baseball League as a head field manager. It's Jack Hausinger to lead off, and in the first 2 games, he was a 5-hole hitter, so interesting to see how Harvey switches that up. Hogan Windish, she's been the best player on this team. A pair of doubles to his name. Max Anderson batting out of the 3-hole. Still without a hit, but he was a former Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Blake Wright out of the 4-hole batting cleanup. Ian Farrow coming in right field after not playing yesterday. He's batting out of the 5 spot. Following him is Ryan Campos. Catching for the first time today, Torrin Montgomery, a first baseman, batting out of the 7-hole. Kellum Clark behind him will be the DH. And then Caden Rose, used to batting leadoff, he will be in the 9-hole for your Wareham Gatemen. So that's the starting 9 for the Wareham Gatemen, who sit at 1-0-1 on the season. Game 3 of 44 coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Again with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir, and out on the mound for the Firebirds is Alex Amalfi out of UMass Boston, about 20 minutes away from the city of Boston. He's going to feature a fastball, slider, curve, changeup, just a big strikeout guy, right? The sequence is there, but a guy that can just deliver and pump down the middle.
No, that's exactly what you're looking for. And again, heading into today, the overall pitching staff of the game and only have a 1 ERA, 18 innings so far, only allowing 10 hits, 4 walks. They have 20 strikeouts in 18 innings. So again, that's been the key piece so far that has really led to their 1 win, no losses, but they still got that 1 tie. So again, that's going to be the big responsibility today on the offense side, is to pick up the excellent pitching that has been provided so far this season.
Only 7 hits for the Gatemen this season as Amalfi gets set for the first pitch to Jack Hausinger, the leadoff hitter. Has a single so far this season, hacks away at the first pitch down the middle. That's strike 1. The Jack Hausinger out of Ezeir, 5'8", 170, just finished his senior season in the spring. Not used to batting leadoff, was a 5-hole hitter in the last 2 games. In the lefty batter box, takes the pitch and fouls it back, count 0-2. Alex Amalfi on the mound 4 times in his spring season at UMass Boston. He eclipsed 10 or more strikeouts. 0-2 count as Alex Amalfi gets set in those black and red jerseys for the Firebirds. Here's the pitch, a bit high over the head of Hausinger. The count 1-2. So head high pitch from Alex Amalfi, his 3rd pitch of the game. 2 teams that have really struggled to hit this season. The count 1-2. Amalfi set, delivers the pitch, breaking ball in there, a bit low for ball 2, count 2-2 on a beautiful day here at Eldridge Park. First road game for the Wareham Gatemen. Count 1-2 to Jack Hausinger, the shortstop. Amalfi gets set, kicks the leg, delivers the pitch. Hausinger pops it up behind the plate in foul territory. It's nearing us. It'll drop in foul territory right on the road as a car was passing by.
Wow.
And how about that, Alex? I already talked about great scenery here at Eldridge Park with the road right behind us. A car was blazing by, looked like a nice teal car, and the ball just landed right on its hood.
Definitely a heads up if you're driving tonight. Jeez.
Oh, the count stays 2-2 as Hausinger fought that one off.
They need a baseball sign around here. Forget the deer.
That one eyes high, count moves full. You don't want to be that car or even in the vicinity for a
That's
foul
just bad
ball, that
luck.
demeanor.
Feel bad for his day.
Hey,
Not
the
a great
payoff
story,
pitch.
though.
Still no outs in the top of the first. Hausinger swings, is going to pop it up. That one will swift off foul as well. The Orleans Firebirds and the Wareham Gatemen. The Gatemen got the best of the Firebirds 3-1 against Orleans last season. But the Wareham Gatemen did miss the playoffs for the first time since 2014 as Hausinger stands in the lefty batter box, looks at Amalfi straight in the eye, kicks the leg and delivers. At the eyes, and Jack Hausinger fights off a few pitches, and after being down 0-2, will take a base on balls for a Wareham Gatemen team that doesn't walk too often, but Hausinger able to get to first, so a leadoff runner for the Gatemen with no outs in the top of the first as it turns it over to Hogan Windish in the 2-hole.
Yeah, Hogan Windish has really been a bright spot so far this season. Has a .400 batting average, 2nd leading the team. And for the Gatemen's case, they face great pitching too.
Yeah, Hogan Windish looks at the pitch right at the letters. That was a strike, so count 0-1 as Windish looks off to the third base side, the sun peering in from the first base side right on his glistening black helmet. As he looks in, the count 0-1, Amalfi on the mound delivers the pitch. Breaking ball, good pitch, but just missed inside as Hogan Windish doing a great job looking it off, count 1-1. Hogan Windish, 2 for 5 on the season. Last game had a double, was also hit by 2 pitches. Took some pain yesterday against Bourne. The sun glaring down the 1-1. Amalfi delivers up high, and Alex Amalfi looks like he's gotten out of his zone so far this game.
Yeah, hasn't really been able to get a good rhythm going, but it's a great job so far by the Wareham Bats and just taking good pitches and just being very comfortable and taking their time at the plate. And that's what you're looking for. Get base runners, and they got Hausinger right on at first base.
Windisch looks off the pitch. That's down the middle for strike two. Count 2-2 for Wareham Gateman team in the red and dark blues. A team that's 1-0-1 on the season. Hogan Windisch standing in the righty batter box out of UNC Greensboro, 6'1", 222, the junior. Here's the pitch, 2-2, swung on, in foul territory. Moving in is the catcher, and now back toward the mound. The catch is made. Kevin Sim moved in from first base. He was actually hovering over the plate. It's tough to see with the sun peering down, and Kevin Sim took his hat off with his glasses glaring up, ran in from first, made the catch, one away.
Man, that's a difficult play by Sim, but he was able to just almost lean back and make the play in foul territory, going the opposite way of the sun, which probably helped.
So Kevin Sim out of the University of San Diego, he'll man first base. Right next to him is Jack Hausinger, who took a leadoff walk. Standing in Max Anderson, 0 for 6 on the season. Righty batter box, takes the first breaking ball in there, first strike one. Max Anderson, former Big Ten Freshman of the Year at Nebraska, followed it up with batting over 300 in the sophomore season. Hausinger, his bat over his right shoulder, looks at Amalfi as he kicks the leg and delivers right down the middle, swing and a miss from Max Anderson at strike two. So Amalfi ahead of the count 0-2 with Hausinger at first, one away in the top of the first here at Eldridge Park. Amalfi stares in, looks off at first. He's going to deal toward the plate. Alex the pitch, another breaking ball in there for strike three. Striking out looking is Max Anderson. Now 0 for 7 on the season is the sophomore playing for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And there's one player that you want to get going, it's Max Anderson. He played for Bourne last season, had a good year, and for Wareham just not getting off to a good start.
Right, and that's why Harvey Shapiro, the new field manager here for Wareham, is relying on the same top four, really relying on them, and he knows that these bats are going to get started eventually. He's not worried about that.
That's why he throws Blake Wright out there, a breaking ball in there for strike one. So Amalfi, maybe the early delivery wasn't there with the fastball, but doing well with that break. Has a sequence of fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, just a big strikeout guy out of UMass Boston. Had an 18 strikeout game just a month ago. Blake Wright standing in out of Clemson, takes the breaking ball, slaps it toward third, corralling it over to second base for one out, and got him. Good grab, good flip from Baquero over to Wilson, and that closes out the side in the top of the first. So after a leadoff walk, the Wareham Gatemen strand one. We head to the bottom of the first. We'll get our first look at the home side, the Orleans Firebirds.
The Wareham-based 80 Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is the world's largest cranberry grower and the largest private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Back at Eldridge Park with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. After Jack Hausinger out of Ezeir got on with the leadoff walk, Hogan Windisch a pop out right over the plate that Kevin Sim made a nice grab over at first. Max Anderson struck out looking, and Blake Wright grounded out into a fielder's choice to the third baseman, who threw it over to second base for the third out of the top of the first. And now the Wareham Gatemen will get their first look at a former Bourne Brave from a season ago in Matt Jasek out of Indiana State.
And Jasek's been a true pitcher and a big start tonight. Again, I know we've been saying it all game so far, Cam, but this is a big start for him. You don't want to be the guy that starts to kind of go the other way that the pitching staff has been going, but he does have pressure. I think the pitching staff is feeling the pressure because the offense isn't really giving them much to work with. It puts more pressure on the pitchers to just pitch as well as they had, and I think anyone that knows baseball, it's tough to be as good as they have been.
I mean, this Wareham team has only given up 2 earned runs. That's third in the Cape through 2 games. They've given up the least amount of walks in the Cape so far. The 4th lowest batting average is they're taking on the Firebirds today, and Michael Sansone in the first game went 4 strong in the next one. Jonathan Brand went 5 strong, only 3 hits given up combined from those 2, no earned runs. Those are from the starters, and the relievers have just been just as good. Its Wareham pitching staff has been incredible. Matt Jasek on the mound, facing the leadoff hitter Travis Honeyman, swings at the first pitch, dribbled down the third baseline foul. Travis Honeyman, out of Boston College, a sophomore, batting .143 in this Cape season, 1 for 7. In the first 2 games, or pardon me, the first game was a 9-hole hitter and then switched to the leadoff spot as manager Kelly Nicholson in his 21st season on the Cape chose to make that switch for a Firebirds team with only 8 hits on the season. Jasek delivers the pitch, another swing, high chopper on the plate as it drifts foul, so count 0-2. Matt Jasek was born last year with Harvey Shapiro, who moved over from the Bravos to the Gatemen after last season and after 18 seasons with the Braves. His head coach Mitch Hannas was actually on the Cape League team in 1988 with Harvey Shapiro in Shapiro's first year as an assistant coach in the Cape. Was an all-star, was Mitch Hannas, and that's the head coach at Indiana State, and he's been leading the charge for Matt Jasek, and that's why he was born last year and why he's in Wareham this year. The high leg kick, the delivery, just misses outside. Called ball 1, count 1-2. The bloodline, it really works well in the Cape Cod Baseball League with all these coaches in the Cape talking to college coaches and bringing in guys that they're confident in. The count 1-2 in the bottom of the first with no outs. The pitch to Honeyman, the leadoff batter. That breaking ball misses to the outside. Count is 2-2.
Well, it's not just the Cape game. That's how baseball works. You know, you meet one great baseball mind with another, and they stay in contact with each other their whole careers and really lives. Baseball is such a tight-knit community, and it's just shown right here.
5th pitch of the at-bat, bit low. Called ball 3, count is full.
And
the battery for today is Matt Jasek and Ryan Campos, and Campos couldn't believe it.
And neither could Harvey Shapiro. He was asking where exactly was that pitch.
Yeah, he was irate out of the dugout just to our left. The sun's still peering strong here in Eldridge Park. The payoff pitch 3-2. Here's the pitch from Jasek, bit high. A leadoff walk for the Gatemen in the top of the first, and a leadoff walk for the Firebirds in the home half of the opening inning, which gives way to Luke Keishel, the designated hitter, batting .143 on the year. One of 2 players on this team with an extra base hit. That was a home run. He's also struck out once and walked once as well, out of the University of San Francisco, an everyday shortstop for the Dons in Northern California. Rocking that number 9 in white and red on the all-black torso part of the jersey. As he looks in the right end of the batter's box, right foot in front of the left. Here's the pitch from Jasek, in there for strike 1. A fastball in the inside corner. Matt Jasek led the Sycamores of Indiana State with 97 innings pitched at a 2.88 ERA in 2022. Struck out 80 batters in the process. That was a team high. The runner at first, Honeyman, none away in the bottom of the first. Standing in, Keishel. The pitch to Keishel, rope to the right side, caught by the second baseman, Blake Wright. A good grab, turned to be an easy pick as that was a laser right to his left hand, lifted up his glove, 1 away in the bottom of the first.
And Wright has been making all kinds of heads-up plays so far in the first 3 games of the season, so I think he's getting a little more accustomed, especially first game so far in the Cape where he's playing on real infield dirt.
Yeah, in that tie against Bourne yesterday, Blake Wright didn't start at second. He was actually the designated hitter, came in the 9th inning in defensive change to play second. He did start at second base in that win over Hyannis to start the season. Now stepping in on the right side is Jacob Wilson, the shortstop. Here's the pitch from Jasek. The first one is a bit high but called strike one. Jacob Wilson batting .250 on the season. 1 for 4, struck out once. This is just his second start at a Grand Canyon University. The sophomore was a freshman All-American, batted .358 this past spring. Right-hand batter's box is Wilson. Watches that pitch bounce in the dirt for ball one. So count 1-1 with a runner at first. That's Travis Honeyman, who drew the leadoff walk. He drew 11 walks in his Boston College sophomore season in the spring, is now at first representing the lead base runner for this Orleans team. One away in the bottom half of the first, just getting going here at Eldridge Park. Jacek, the ball in his glove, now the kick, runners going, swing and a miss. Campos over to second, the tag is not in time. Safe at second is Travis Honeyman, swipes second base. And Orleans is in business, runner in scoring position. Adam Campos, really good job jumping up from his knees and tossing it over to second base to the covering shortstop Hausinger, but didn't apply the tag in time. It was a bang-bang play, but Mickey Garcia, the second base ump, said he was safe. But it's still a favorable count for Jacek. He looks at the batter, now looks off at second, ball in his glove. He's gonna deliver the pitch. Swung on, rope to left, and it's caught by the shortstop Hausinger for the second out of the inning. So two lasers to both sides of the middle of the infield represent the 2 outs, but there is a runner at second after Travis Honeyman stole second base. Ryan Campos had an opportunity to throw it over there, and Hausinger a good tag, but unable to get Honeyman out. Runner in scoring position for the Firebirds. Still no hits in this game. There's 2 away in the bottom of the first. Gives way to Jake Cunningham, the center fielder. Big center fielder at that. Batting .250 in just his second start here in the Cape. In the right-hand batter's box, Matt Jacek on the mound. Delivers the opening pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike one. Matt Jacek doing a really good job controlling those pitches as a pitch sequence of a 4-seamer, sinker, changeup, slider, and so that's sometimes a slurve. So trying to get a 5-pitch sequence in there as he heads back to the Sycamores in the fall over at Indiana State. Cunningham stands in. Delivering the pitch is Jacek. It's a dribbler down the third baseline, foul.
And this is the time exactly when he might want to try to work in that slurve this summer. This is the time where the best of the best pitchers can really work on either a third or fourth pitch, in Jacek's case, his fifth.
Right, and that would be a slurve that could be lethal at Indiana State. And he already was with a 2.88 ERA back in the spring, with Honeyman a good 3 to 4 foot leadoff at second. Jacek looking off at second base, delivering the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss up high, and Jacek does a really, really good job getting out of some sort of jam. Stranded at second is Travis Honeyman after stealing the second base bag. As we head to the top of the second inning, no scoring here at Eldridge Park.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous Colossal Lobster Rolls, piled high on a grilled brioche and served hot buttered or just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gateman.
Back at Eldridge Park with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Matt Jacek, after giving up a leadoff walk, goes 1-2-3 after that to retire the side, and we're in the top of the second inning as the Firebirds send out their starter Alex Amalfi. Leadoff walk to Jack Hausinger, then a pop-up from Windish in the infield. Max Anderson struck out looking, and then a ground-out fielder's choice from Blake Wright to retire the side in the top half of the first, and Ian Farrell will get things going The right fielder who just transferred to Miami from Florida Gulf Coast University. Whole lot of pop in his bat as he enters the right-hand batter's box. Had 21 home runs in the spring. That was a Florida Gulf Coast single-season record.
Yeah, he's a guy that especially the scouts want to see really break out against some of the best pitching, and a little tease for any Miami University fan to see what kind of talent Farrell is going to bring to their program.
Yeah, so far this season 0 for 4. Didn't start yesterday. Did have a pinch hitting appearance in the 9th inning as he watches that fastball breeze past the outside corner. Called ball 1. The right-hand pitcher Alex Amalfi out of UMass Boston up on the mound. Delivering pitch number 21 of his outing as Farrell fouls it back. They count 1-1. Beautiful day at Eldridge Park. The sun is out. The fans are out on the berm on the far side of us, down the first base line behind the netting. Same on the third base side behind the netting as well. The glove covers the mouth of Amalfi. He'll lift up his right leg and deliver. Farrell takes that ball in the dirt. The count 2-1.
And this is a nice setting for a Cape Cod baseball game. Anytime you see brick behind the home plate area, I automatically think of Camden Yards, one of the best ballparks in the country.
So beautiful as Baltimore Orioles still trying to get off the schneid. A few players for them making their major league debuts this year.
Schneid, that's an interesting word. What does that mean?
Hey, just get off the struggling streak, maybe.
All right.
That was a ball pitch on the last one as Farrow slaps away at that one. A ground ball to the left side. Base hit through. Ian Farrow records the first hit for the Gatemen in the top half of the second, and those are a rarity. Only the 8th hit of the summer for this Wareham Gatemen team. Farrow's first of the summer. Usually bats out of the 7-hole, or did so in the first game of the Cape Cod Baseball League, but today batting out of the 5 spot. It proves dividends. A single here in the top half of the second. No outs brings up Ryan Campos, who just got here a couple days ago, and that's the beauty of the Cape. Pinch hit yesterday, drew a walk in the 9th inning, was stranded at second in that tie to Bourne. The first pitch to the lefty batter is low, count 1-0. Lefty batter Ryan Campos out of Arizona State, a sophomore, 5'9", 180. Bats left, throws right. Part of the battery today behind the plate. So the breaking ball pitch is in there for ball 2. So count 2-0 with Ian Farrow at first. A leadoff single in the top half of the second. Back-to-back innings that the Gatemen have had a runner on to lead off the frame. Amalfi ready to deliver pitch number 24 here in the top half of the second. He delivers the pitch. A ground ball to the left side, could be 2. 6-4, over to 3, and in time. Double play ball down on the ground from Campos. And the leadoff hitter, Ian Farrow, is retired as Campos runs back to the dugout. The victim of a double play, 2 away in the top of the second.
So luck not going in the Gatemen favor there, but they've been seeing some really tough pitches, and they've been trying to be patient at the plate. But they've had base runners on and back-to-back innings, so I'm assuming things are going to start turning around. They must be seeing the ball pretty well today.
If one player can get it going, it's Torrin Montgomery, standing at the plate at the right side of the batter's box, swings away at that dipping pitch from Alex Amalfi. Montgomery transferred from Boise State after his freshman year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Boise State canceled their program, so Montgomery went over to Missouri. First time he's batting out of the 7-hole this season, as that pitch is on. A high fly ball to deep left field, ranging forward and making the catch is Stinson. That retires the side. So another leadoff base runner for the Gatemen proves to be not. As we head to the bottom half of the second, the Orleans Firebirds will deal their 5, 6, and 7 hitters when we come back to Eldridge Park.
And ticks. No, yikes! When the bugs get scary, just call Mosquito Mary's 866-ASK-MARY or visit us at mosquitomarys.com.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous Colossal Lobster Rolls. Piled high on a grilled brioche and served hot buttered or just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal.
Serving southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Office Technology Group has been the area's source for advanced digital multifunctional copiers since 2009. Call Office Technology Group at 508-858-5825.
Back at Eldridge Park, a 0-0 game between the Wareham Gatemen and the Orleans Firebirds. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Welcome you back to the broadcast. Wareham has had 2 base runners, 1 walk in the first, and a leadoff single in the second. For the Orleans Firebirds, they've had a base runner as well. That was a leadoff walk to Travis Honeyman, and left a man stranded in scoring position in that top half of the first, as Matt Jasek gets ready on the mound to face Kevin Sim, the best batting average on this team in the Cape so far. 1 for 3, 333 average. As Sim stands in, watches the pitch breeze by. That's ball 1 on the outside. So count 1-0 to a player in Kevin Sim out of the University of San Diego, a sophomore. Moved from South Korea out to the U.S. at age 7. Watches the pitch, dribble it down the third base line. It's staying fair, and Kevin Sim will have enough pace down the first base line to get there safely. So luck of the draw for Kevin Sim. Took a nice bounce right before the grass in front of the plate, and the third baseman Max Anderson couldn't get there in time. So first base hit, or this Orleans Firebirds team first base hit given up by Matt Jasek. So now only 4 hits given up by the 3 starting pitchers in the opening 3 games. So Matt Jasek looks off over toward first and delivers the pitch to Bennett Lee, the catcher. Lifts his legs, the pitch. Delivers it high, misses for ball 1. Bennett Lee, the catcher, in his second start, 0 for 2 on the season so far with a walk. Connor Burns has been the mainstay as the catcher in the battery, but he'll get the nod from Kelly Nicholson. Jasek readies the pitch, the 1-0. In there for strike 1, right down the middle, a fastball. Matt Jasek delivering the 4-seamer. As Kevin Sim stands at first with none away in the top half, or pardon me, the bottom half of the second. Number 27 in black and red, Bennett Lee stands in. Jasek looks off at first. Little nod toward first, now delivers the pitch. A breaking ball smacked to the left side. That's going to fall. Base hit. Kevin Sim rounding around second. He's going to go to third to throw in from left, not in time. Breezing into second for a double is Bennett Lee for his first hit of the summer, and the Orleans Firebirds are in business. A hard hit laser deep to left field that got out of the range of Hogan Windish, bounced all the way to the wall, and now runners at second and third with no outs here in the bottom of the second for the Firebirds.
It's just tough luck so far, and I mean the ball where Sim hit it, it was just a slow roller that, I mean, Anderson couldn't make any play on that, and now just like that, second and third with nobody out. It's a tough spot right here for Jasek.
Well, 2 righty batters to lead off the frame, and now a lefty batter in there, and Jacob Stinson. Jasek, the first pitch in there for a strike on the outside corner. So Kevin Sim at third, Bennett Lee at second. Lee at a 2-lane, Sim out of the University of San Diego, and Stinson out of the University of Nevada. So from all over the states, that's the beauty of the Cape Cod Baseball League. The pitch, fouled back, a dribbler past the left shoulder of the catcher Campos. As horns peer in from the road behind us, commemorating a Firebird game here at Eldridge Park. The Firebirds 0-1-1 on the season, the Gatemen 1-0-1. It's both with a tie, but New Orleans has yet to win a game. Wareham won on opening day. Jasek, with his arm dangled near his right leg, and now will look back. Lifts his leg, delivers the pitch, the 1-1, is fouled off toward the dugout into the screen area right near Kelly Nicholson, who's been a part of this Orleans franchise for 21 years, his 17th summer as the manager, 4-time manager of the year, won a championship in 2005 in his first season. Looking in, left-hand batter's box is Stinson, batting .250 on the Young Cape season. Jasek looks on. Runners at second and third, no outs in the bottom of the second. Collects himself, throws the pitch. High chopper veers foul to the right side. Sim already a big lead off third. Staying alive is Jacob Simpson. So Stinson out of the University of Nevada, played 48 games this past spring, a .313 average. Looks on at the pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Jasek looks at his glove. The pitch. It's low, it's smacked down the first base line. Great grab stepping on first is the first baseman Montgomery, but Sim comes in to score. Advancing to third is Bennett Lee. Great play by Montgomery to spoil any opportunity of 2 runs coming home, but the Orleans Firebirds take care of business in the bottom half of the second and score the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Orleans.
Yeah, great play by Montgomery. If it got past him, it would have easily scored 2 there. It's just now a 1-0 lead, but still a huge, crucial out, number 1 there by a great play by Montgomery.
And now just 1 runner on. Bennett Lee at third with 1 away in the bottom of the second. Stepping in, Diego Becerro out of Loyola Marymount University. The opening pitch in there for strike 1, a fastball down the middle as Becerro cleans off some dirt on the right side of the plate. Becerro played third yesterday, but did not play on opening day against YD in a tie ball game for Orleans. Here's the 0-1 pitch, misses high, count 1-1. So Diego Becerro in his second start, batted .320 at Loyola Marymount University out in California in the spring. Had 11 homers, saw some pop in his bat. 1 away, bottom of the second, runner at third. Becerro at the plate. Jasek with the pitch. The 1-1, swing and a miss down the middle. Count 1-2. Orleans Firebirds lead the Wareham Gatemen 1-0. Only the second time this summer that the Wareham Gatemen have trailed, and it's never been by more than 1 run. Orleans trying to change that with a runner 90 feet away. Becerro digs in. Here is the 2-1 as it's fouled back. Pardon me, the count actually 1-2 as Becerro fought that off.
Yeah, the offense for the game is going to have to respond at some point here today. Our early trailing, again, now putting all the pressure on the offense right here.
The count 1-2. Pitching's been great. Jasek the pitch. Shallow fly ball to right center, moving in, making the catch. Out and right is Ian Farrow. And the runner does not advance from third, and Bennett leaves. So the second out of the inning, and that's exactly what Jasek needed.
And it was shallow enough that couldn't score Lee. So again, now 2 away, still down a run. The key part is right here. Limit to as best as your ability to just only allow that 1 run this inning.
Jasek will have to do so against Nate Furman. Furman, a 200 hitter in the Young Cape season out of Charlotte, a sophomore. All sophomore lineup for Kelly Nicholson and the Firebirds. Jasek looking over at third, lone base runner there. Here's the pitch. It's ball low. And faking the bunt was Nate Furman. He's a great fielder. Also batted .371 his sophomore spring at Charlotte for the 49ers. A .301 average his freshman year, so that up by 70 points. Here's the pitch. Another ball, that one on the outside. So the count 2-0. Nate Furman had 86 hits in his spring season for Charlotte. A runner at third is Bennett Lee. 2 away in the bottom half of the second. Orleans up 1. Jasek the pitch. Swung on, popped up, foul territory left side. Moving toward that angle and then dropping foul. The baseball through a tree. So 2-strike count on Nate Furman.
Very dangerous ballpark if you are a fan. Had to be on your toes the entire game.
And Alex, we're lucky we're right behind the high netting area, so unless something happens with the net, we're all safe back here.
Hopefully there's no pop-up.
Hey, well, I trust you to make that catch if there is.
Well, you might want to rely on Claire Foley next to you.
Your sideline reporter will be with us today as well. As that pitch is outside. Matt Jasek delivering it. And another ball over to Nate Furman.
You saw what happens to that car can. That's as much help I would be.
Runner at third, Jasek, the righty pitch. Swung on, bouncer up the middle, corralled by right. Runner comes home, but the throw over to first is in time, so the run won't count. But the first one will for Orleans. It's 1-0 Firebirds over the Gatemen. We head to the top of the third. Can the Gatemen offense get it going? We'll see after this. Mark Deshays has been practicing law in southeastern Massachusetts for over 30 years. His primary focus is on all aspects of real estate law, including residential and commercial real estate transactions, commercial leasing, land development, land use and zoning law, and land conservation matters. If you need representation, call now at 508-993-2300. Each and every game here at Spillane Field is made possible by our sponsors. Let's take a moment to recognize Gateway Tavern, Coastal Orthodontics, Fairway Financial, Joanne Stevenson, Sullivan Wine and Spirits, Deb Levesque Massage Therapy, the Law Office of Mark Deshays, Office Technology Group, J&M Baseball Academy, South Coast Health, Minkle Boys Catering, 80 Makepeace, Reed Custom Soils, Soft as a Grape, Bay Motor Inn, Point Sign, Wareham, Sipicon and Dartmouth Week, Cranberry Self Storage, Village Signs, the Law Office of Lang, Exaferris and Bullard, Reedy, Kiernan and McNally LLP, Robertson's GMC, Effie's Homemade, Wareham Country Market, the Wareham House of Pizza, Robbery's Tree Service, Patty Wild, Onset Bay Association, Select PT, El Mariachi, Water Whiz, and Cool Cone. Thank you once again to our sponsors of your Wareham Gatemen. Back at Eldridge Park, Alex Amalfi, after pitching 2 innings, is out there for his 3rd inning of work against a Wareham offense that has really struggled in the early going, but also a couple pretty innings pitched by Amalfi out of UMass Boston. Talking about this offense, 7 for 56 coming into this one, last in the Cape League, batting 125 as the 8-hole hitter. Kellum Clark stands in on the left side. The designated hitter watches that one for ball 1 high. Amalfi stands tall upon the mound as the shadows starting to peer in from the left side of the infield and the right side of the outfield. A bouncer off the plate. Clark watches it skip past his toes.
Well, this is the key part of the order, Cam. I mean, Caden Rose, who was on deck, has seen some great at-bats in the early part of the season, so that's the guy that you're really relying on in the 9-hole to try to turn over the top of the lineup to get something going.
The pitch. Swung on, ground ball to the right side, and diving and making the grab, but Kellum Clark makes it to first without any throw as Furman dove to his left side, scooped it up, but couldn't jump up to his feet in time. And for the 3rd straight inning to open up this game, the Wareham Gatemen have a leadoff base runner. It's resulted in no runs so far. Kellum Clark uses his speed to get over there to first. And now enter Caden Rose on the right side of the batter's box, the center fielder. That leadoff the first 2 games was 0 for 7, so Harvey Shapiro switching it up and put him in the 9-hole. Amalfi on the mound, the pitch, the opener. High fly ball. It's hooking foul to the right side, ranging to his left into the crowd and unable to make the catch is Honeyman. Interesting how the berm is set up here. There's fencing that blocks off fans to the field, but past the first base bag extended, there is no fencing, so players can hypothetically just run up the berm to make a catch like that, but if it is deemed in foul territory where they are, then most likely it'll be called a foul ball. That was the case there. Caden Rose stands in on the right side. Amalfi looks off over at first, checks Clark at first base. Clark slides back safely. So back-to-back-to-back leadoff base runners for Wareham, nothing to show for it as Amalfi kicks the leg, delivers the pitch. Swung on, ground ball to the left side, foul from Caden Rose. A Bama sophomore standing at 5'10", 175. 0 for 3 with a pair of walks in last night's 2-2 tie with Bourne. No outs in the top of the third. Amalfi looks off at first into the sun. Now looks toward the plate. Over his shoulder. The pitch. Breaking ball misses high. It's a count 1-2 to Caden Rose. We're in number 12 in the dark blue and maroon for the Wareham Gatemen. Alex Amalfi will throw over to first base, sliding in safely Kellum Clark. The second time that Amalfi's checked on Clark at first.
We'll see if the running game of the Gatemen change, actually playing on true infield dirt. I'm sure most players will want to try to go on a stone dust infield.
All right, swing and a miss from Caden Rose. Alex Amalfi will stand in as actually Caden Rose got just a piece of it for a foul tip, so it counts 1-2. Just got a piece of it on the outside part of the plate. Clark at first. Amalfi looks off at the bag. Now delivers the pitch. The 1-2 swing and a miss in the dirt. The catch was made by the catcher, Bennett Lee, as Caden Rose looks off at the mound and knows that his first at bat has resulted in a strikeout. 0 for 8 now to open up the summer for Caden Rose as the order is flipped and the lefty batter Jack Hausinger steps in, walked to lead off the top half of the first. We're in the third. Now second time through the lineup with Clark at first, one away. The pitch from Amalfi inside called ball one, a fastball. Just missed inside. So Jack Hausinger out of Ezeir getting the start at shortstop for the third straight game. Leadoff hitter. The third time Amalfi has checked Kellum Clark over at first base. All three times the Mississippi State prospect slid in safely. It's a couple feet off of first base. Amalfi looks over his way. The 1-0 pitch. Called strike one, count 1-1 to Jack Hausinger. Talked about his production at Ezeir a bit earlier this summer. Hit .311 while starting all 60 games for the Musketeers in 2022, the only player on that Ezeir team to start all 60 games. So longevity a huge part of Jack Hausinger's game. Amalfi looks toward the plate, delivers the pitch. Misses, count 2-1. Jack Hausinger, only one hit on the season, that was a single. In fact, Hogan Windish, who's on the on-deck circle, the only player with extra base hits for the Skateman team this summer. With Clark at first, and the count 2-1 to Jack Hausinger. The pitch, Clark goes, it's fouled back. Harvey Shapiro trying to implement the hit and run, but Clark has to rewind and head back to first as it's fouled back on that fastball from Amalfi. So the count 2-2 to Jack Hausinger.
Yeah, that's surprising. Clark only had one stolen base this past collegiate season.
The home plate umpire says play. That's Tony Venturini. Here's the pitch, the 2-2 breaking ball in the dirt. Hausinger somehow led off of that one. It looked like he wanted to take a hack, but his front foot stopped him, and now the count moves full. Kellum Clark at first, and the glaring sun under it is Eldridge Park, the sights and scenes of the first road game for the Gatemen. The 3-2 pitch, Amalfi's going to check over Clark at first. Oh, that was the closest one yet as Sim applied the tag, and Clark slides back safely. For the fourth time, he's getting his money worth over there at the first base bag.
I feel for the equipment managers. It's always tougher to clean the uniforms after a dirt baseball game.
The payoff pitch. Swung on, ground ball to Sim, backhanded plays on his rear. He gets up, steps on the bag, and advancing to second is Kellum Clark. That's out number 2 of the inning, but the first time this game that the Wareham Gatemen have had a runner in scoring position. Kellum Clark is at second, which gives way to Hogan Windish, the only player with extra base hits on this team. Last game went 1 for 2 with a double, had the RBI double and scored the game-winning run against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the opening day win for the Gatemen. So Kellum Clark at second. You saw Malfi check on Clark a few times at first, but it's a Gateman team that has yet to steal a bag this summer. Actually, one of two teams that has yet to steal a bag. The other one, the Firebirds. Windish stands in, swings at the first pitch, fouls it off. That'll be a souvenir for a fan as a couple kids go running after it. And the atmosphere is so different here at Eldridge Park. There's no bleachers as it is at Spillane Field. Everyone bringing their own chairs, maybe their own tables as well. On a beautiful, beautiful day, 7-11 here on June 14th, Game 3 of 44 in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Wareham against Orleans. Runner at second, 2 away. In the top of the third, Amalfi looks off at second, delivers the breaking ball, misses high, count 1-1. To Hogan Windish, who popped up right in front of the plate. It was Kevin Sim who made a diving grab near the plate for the first out of the top of the first. But now he's working with 2 outs here in the third. Amalfi looks off at second. Clark is there, a couple feet off the bag, the pitch, breaking ball, slow dribbler up the middle. Max Anderson's going to test the arm of the ranging second baseman who throws it over. Safe is Hogan Windish. Furman cut off the angle from Wilson, and you wonder if Nate Furman didn't have the best angle over there at second, and if it was Wilson, but you're not going to know the result because Max Anderson beat out the throw. And if that is deemed a hit, which in all likelihood it will be, first hit of the summer that's Hogan Windish, the third hit of the summer for Hogan Windish. So runners at the corners for the Gatemen, down 1-0 in the top half of the third. Pitch from Amalfi, breaking ball. Chopped foul from Max Anderson.
Well,
Struck
the main
out.
positive is that they have 3 hits through 3 innings, and they only have 3 hits through 9 innings on opening night.
Yeah.
So
Only
the
7.
offense starting to turn things around.
Only 7 hits on the season overall
Right.
for this Gateman team entering this game. Anderson struck out looking in the first. Takes the pitch. Good off speed. Anderson swings at nothing. So the count 0-2. Max Anderson out of Nebraska, former Big Ten freshman of the year, in the righty batter's box, and he's hoping to turn it over to Blake Wright, but there are 2 away in the top half of the third. Runners at the corners. It's Kellum Clark at third, Hogan Windish at first. Amalfi will check Windish at first, and again, kind of unconventional knowing that both these teams have yet to steal a bag this summer, but Amalfi wants to make sure there's no movement on the base paths. So Amalfi standing tall. Here's the pitch, the 0-2, swung on slow dribbler, foul down the first base line as Kellum Clark will come oh so close to touching the bag, but it won't matter as to switch it around and reverse back to third base.
It also goes just in the mindset of different pitchers. They like to check back to first to reset the mindset of the hitter to kind of almost ice the kicker in baseball.
Yeah, and Kellum Clark hasn't had that many opportunities, but so far this summer he's stood on third twice. He's yet to score a run, though. The 0-2 from Amalfi way high as it got caught up in the airspace and missed above the helmet of Anderson. The fastball from Amalfi, who features that fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. The school 20 minutes outside the city of Boston. Runners at the corners, the 0-2. Anderson pops it up in the infield. Remember, it's a sunny day, but getting under it is Kevin Sim, ranging from first. He'll make the grab. Wareham strands runners 2 and 3 of the day, and they've yet to score in this game. It's Orleans 1, Wareham nothing. We head to the bottom of the third. Want your daily dose of news? Lucky for you, Wareham, Sipicon, and now Dartmouth Week has you covered. Whether you live in Wareham or in the surrounding areas, you can count on up-to-date news on sports, schools, and even the fine arts, courtesy of the partnership between Wareham, Sipicon, and Dartmouth Week. Head to theweektoday.com and search Wareham, Sipicon, or Dartmouth for more.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
Gateman Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals. Located just 2 miles away on Cranberry Highway, Robertson's GMC, we are professional grade, power like a pro.
On a beautiful, beautiful day at Eldridge Park, it's Wareham Gateman Baseball, first road game of the season. For the Gatemen with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. The Orleans Firebirds lead the Wareham Gatemen 1-0 in the early going. In a battle of a pair of managers that have a whole lot of experience. Harvey Shapiro in his 24th season as a head manager, Kelly Nicholson for the Firebirds in his 17th. And on the product on the field, it's Matt Jasek on the mound for his third inning of work. Has one strikeout, he's given up a pair of hits and a run. Off speed down low, and the home plate umpire, Tony Venturini, is going to say that Travis Honeyman went. That's called strike one. Honeyman walked and stole a base back in the first. Didn't cross home, though. That was in the second for this Firebirds team. Jasek the pitch. The count 1-1 to Travis Honeyman, Boston College sophomore. At 9 doubles and 6 homers, had a triple as well, equals 16 extra base hits. 19 RBIs in the spring as well at BC. Jasek delivers the 1-1. In there, a slapper down the third base line. Anderson picks it up, fires it over to first in time. Great pick and pop from Max Anderson. Maybe the offense hasn't been there, but the defense, it's been supreme from the Nebraska Cornhusker. One away in the bottom of the third. What an impact it's made to have Max Anderson over from Bourne from a season ago and playing so well at the hot corner, Alex.
Yeah, sure out almost in the infield, and it's just, that's how you win the games. It's just defensive wins the championships as long as the pitching kind of goes to that caliber, which we've seen.
Swinging a foul tip in the glove of Campos, Luke Keischel, who lined out to the second baseman right back in the first for the first out of the bottom half of the first. So the count 0-1, and Max Anderson really almost looks Manny Machado-esque over there at third base. I was able to pick it up with the backhand and laser it over to first base. Jasek is on the mound, inning number 3 of work with 1 away, and the Gatemen trailing 1-0. Keischel out of the University of San Francisco, the righty batter. A sword-like stance as he checks swings, but that's in there for a strike. A bit low, thought Keischel. They count 1-2. So Jasek out of Indiana State, he's on the mound. 80 strikeouts in the spring. Lead pitcher for the Sycamores, trying to do the same for the Gatemen, but that breaking ball misses low. Scoops up a piece of the dirt, and the count 2-2. With 1 away in the bottom of the third, as the outfield is shifted over to the left side, out of the shadows. Jasek looks at his glove, now delivers the pitch. The 2-2 is grounded down to the third base line, backhanded by Anderson, but it's foul, says Mickey Garcia over there at third. So we'll do it again, count 2-2. The two teams that entered this game bottom of the Cape Cod League in hits. Orleans at 8 in the first 2 games, Wareham at 7. Now, it was enough for the Wareham Gatemen to muster a win in the season opener, while the Orleans Firebirds still winless through the first 2 games. They are up 1-0 in the bottom half of the third, with Jasek on the mound for the Gatemen. Count 2-2, Keischel 0 for 1 on the day. Second at bat. Left foot in front of the right. Watches that pitch sail low. Count moves full. Jasek has already walked one today. That was Travis Honeyman back in the first.
Jasek almost has a Craig Kimbrell-like windup, hanging his pitching arm over, kind of just waiting for it to come.
The pitch, a payoff in there for strike three. Matt Jasek picks up strikeout number 2. That the first one looking. There's 2 away in the bottom half of the third. What a pitch, Alex. A fastball right down the pipe, and it froze up Keishel. He was already halfway over to first base. He thought it was a ball.
Right, he thought it was a little outside, and maybe it was, but home plate umpire says otherwise. And little conversation between Keishel and the home plate umpire, but I think he got the call right.
These umpires always doing a good job out here as those willing to dedicate their time to the Cape Cod Baseball League, and it's made this league one of, if not the best summer collegiate baseball league in the nation. Stepping in, Jacob Wilson lined out to the shortstop Hausinger. A bullet that went into the glove of the Ezeir player back in the first as Wilson watches that pitch go right down the middle.
And this will most likely be it for Jasek after this inning. Ryan Hagen now in the bullpen.
Jasek looks off, delivers the pitch, a bit low. And Matt Jasek, in his third inning of work, has given up a run, but struck out 2. And he gave up that single and double to leadoff hitter and Bennett Lee, who was batting second in the second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back out of the glove of Campos. So 2-strike count, and Matt Jasek is trying to feature the slurve a little more, that subset of a curveball slider into his sequence, but usually he just relies on that four-seamer to get the job done. Had 80 strikeouts in the spring at Indiana State, and you're right, that dangling arm, his right arm ready to toss the pitch. The 2-strike pitch, bit low. That's a ball. So the count is full. Matt Jasek with the bases empty, 2 away in the bottom of the third. The Gatemen trailing by 1.
I'm intrigued to see what pitch he chooses in this situation. Maybe off speed.
Goes with that off speed, just misses outside. Yeah, Jasek can't believe it. And he wants that pitch back, as trotting over to first is Jacob Wilson.
I think that was also a little just frustration where he got the first 2 batters for the first time, and I think he just wanted his first 1, 2, 3 inning of the day.
But instead, that's his second walk of the day. Now getting a talking from the Wareham pitching coach, and his pitching's been so phenomenal for Wareham in the early going. 3rd in strikeouts in the Cape Cod League with 20. 3rd in earned runs given up, 2 in the first 2 games, which is unheard of. 4th in hits given up, only 10 hits surrendered by this Wareham Gateman team. Don't give up a lot of walks. The 4th lowest batting average against at 161. Michael Sansone on opening day pitched 4 strong. Jonathan Brand did the same, only gave up 1 hit in 5 innings. So it was 9 scoreless innings by starting pitching. Matt Jasek did give up a run in the second, but now trying to retire the side with the runner at first and Jacob Wilson, and Jake Cunningham steps to the plate on the right side. Cunningham out of Charlotte. The windup, the delivery. On the opening pitch, a fastball in there for strike 1, and although the breaking ball command really hasn't been there for Jasek, the fastball looks stellar.
That's the key piece right there, and I mean, other than the 1 run that he gave up back in the second inning, he's been very spot on.
Yeah, Jasek throws over to first. Leaning toward the second base bag was Jacob Wilson.
Really just been victim of bad luck.
Yeah, a single and a double given up in the second. And the fielder's choice scored 1 run. Pitch low, goes with that fastball, misses, count 1-1.
You know, I talked with Michael Sansone about that. If his pitching mentality changed when you're in a pitcher's duel, and he said no, it actually helps him to stay in a good rhythm.
Always good to get insight from these players coming from the collegiate game over to the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throwing it over to first is Jasek, and just continues to check on him. Maybe just warming up that arm, trying to get ready to deliver this pitch to Jake Cunningham with the count 1-1. The runner at first, Jasek the 1-1, breaking ball, strike 2 called. That's a huge pitch from the Indiana State product, especially because it puts him ahead of the count. And you can now use these next 2 pitches almost as free pitches, deliver some four-seamers and get Cunningham looking or swinging.
Big one incoming here for Jasek.
Yeah, seeking strikeout number 3, delivers the pitch. That goes outside, and Campos has to veer off the beaten path and stand up off of the pads of his knees. The count 2-2. The runner at first is Jacob Wilson, who at Grand Canyon University didn't steal one back. But he's a couple feet off as Jasek can focus on the plate. Revives his dangling arm, looks toward the plate, delivers the pitch. A breaking ball just misses. So the 2 free pitches he uses for a pair of breaking balls, and the count moves full. And Alex, the last time the count was full was to the batter prior, and Jacob Wilson gave up a walk.
Yeah, definitely a mindset that he wants to get into, just get out of this inning.
The pitch, the runner goes, it is low. Runner was going anyway on a 3-2 pitch with 2 away. Back-to-back walks drawn up by the Firebirds. And Matt Jasek find a way to get a little more consistent while towing the rubber as the sun starts to set here at Eldridge Park. Back-to-back Ks after working a 3-2 count, which gives way to Kevin Sim, and this is where the danger starts. Singled back in the 2nd inning and was the lone run that scored for the Firebirds today. He's led the team with a .333 batting average. Has also walked 4 times. That leads the Cape. The pitch from Jasek, a fastball low called strike 1 at the knees. And Kevin Sim has all but solidified his spot in the 5-hole and at first base. Out of the University of San Diego. With the runners at first and second. The 0-1 swung on. Slow grounder scooped up by Hausinger over to first. It's picked by the first baseman, Torrin Montgomery. And what a play by Jack Hausinger as the Ezeir product dove toward it, scooped it up, backhanded it over to first. And the Gatemen get out of the jam. We head to the top of the 4th. Can the Gatemen offense get it going? We'll see here at Eldridge Park.
The law firm of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
If you or a family member have been hurt at work, don't wait for the insurance company to discontinue your benefits or deny you medical treatment. Get an experienced workers' compensation attorney now before it's too late. The lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP, have been practicing workers' compensation law for many years and are experts in the field of workers' compensation law. Having the advantage of retaining an attorney early on may make all the difference in your case. Know your rights. Be prepared and contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham and 2318 Acushnet Avenue in New Bedford. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website www.rkm-law.com. Wareham Gateman Baseball on the Wareham Baseball Network with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. The first road trip For the Wareham Gatemen is they're taking on the Orleans Firebirds, who they got the best of 3 times last season, but of course a new batch of players and a new level of intensity. Game number 3 of 44. There's a pitching change for Kelly Nicholson and the Orleans Firebirds. Out of Trinity College, it's Sam Conti, who pitched in 3 games over at Trinity. The 6'4" lefty, weighing at 205. Another sophomore out of Boston, Massachusetts. And it's not like this Wareham Gateman team has seen a whole lot of lefties. Actually, the first lefty they saw was against Bourne yesterday, and that was in a relief effort as well. So be interesting to see how Wareham deals with the lefty pitcher Conti, as he's going to deal to Blake Wright, the cleanup hitter. Swings at the first pitch, a slow dribbler toward the first baseman Sim. He'll run over to first and beat Wright to the base. 1 out in the top of the 4th, as the card will turn over to Ian Farrow, who had the first hit of the day for the Gatemen back in the 2nd. That was a single.
Yeah, so final line on Alex Amalti: 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. That's exactly what you're looking for from almost a spot start of what we've seen throughout the Cape.
It's interesting to see how these field managers will expend their pitchers or will take them out or whatever they will do. A lot of the times it's based off their college coach, the respective college coaches, and how they decide to work the order and work their player in summer ball. And Alex Amalfi will just go 3 deep. We're in the 4th inning as Farrow fouls that one off.
Right, I mean, if you're at a 40-inning limit, you're not going to want to throw out a guy for 9 innings if he's, a big-time pitcher. You want him throughout the summer so you can try to stretch him out and win some games.
Conti, the lefty delivery, bit high to Farrow. Eye level, stared right at the ball as it went into the mitt of Bennett Lee.
So you're not only managing the bullpen, you're managing the bullpen while managing your roster throughout the entire season.
Yeah, doing a whole lot here in the Cape. Grounder into the Wareham dugout. Sam Conti, the hard-throwing, tall lefty. At a Trinity College, looks at Farrow on the right side of the batter's box. Ian Farrow be heading to the University of Miami, in the fall. The pitch swung on in a souvenir back near the road area as it hits off one of the telephone lines and drops onto the road. Count stays 2-2. Game 3 of 44 in the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Farrow the righty, Conti the pitcher, the lefty. Looks at his glove. Here's the 2-2 toss. Up high, and Farrow staring down the barrel, staring at the plate, and in front of him is a 3-2 count. Picked up his first hit of the summer back in the 2nd. Did not start in that tie against Bourne as he fouls off the payoff pitch, a fastball inside. Lefty pitcher, ready to deliver the payoff. He's going to step off the rubber, wait a second, and now deliver the pitch. A 3-2 from Conti over to Farrow. Swing and a miss. Strikeout from Sam Conti, 2 away in the 4th. The 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Top of the 4th. As Wareham looking down the throat of a 1-0 deficit. Conti stares in. All shadows in the infield and outfield. Hard hit ball to deep left field. Moving in, making the grab is Stinson, and that'll retire the side 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 4th. The Orleans Firebirds leading the Wareham Gatemen 1-0.
Reed Custom Soils is New England's leading provider of lightweight planting soil for green roof installations and is the exclusive New England supplier of stabilized stone dust. Reed Custom Soils services over 300 golf courses and provides unique blends to fit your needs, all by experienced precision blenders. To learn more about how Reed Custom Soils can serve you, call toll-free 1-800-924
is complete without a trip to soft as a grape.
For you, live in Wareham or in the surrounding areas, you can count on up-to-date news on sports, schools, and even the fine arts, courtesy of the partnership. We're on the Wareham Baseball Network, and we're bringing you Wareham Gateman Baseball, Game 3 of 44 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season for both the Wareham Gatemen and the Orleans Firebirds. Alongside Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. New pitcher in is Lucky, a team that lost in the SEC semifinals, and Hagenau comes from a sporty family. His brother Jake, a catcher at Middle Tennessee State. And a pitcher in Hagenau that a whole lot of prowess entering Kentucky, who was a first-team freshman All-American in terms of prospects, according to College Baseball Nation. So when looking at a guy like Hagenau, it's a hard-throwing righty. Number 30 in the 2023 MLB Draft College Prospects list due to D1 baseball. He was ranked the number 8 right-handed pitcher in the class by perfect game when he entered Kentucky just a couple seasons back. His sophomore season included a 5.97 ERA, 39 strikeouts, 33 walks. That's the one knock on Hagenau, as that pitch is in there for strike one. The Firebirds send up Bennett Lee to the plate. That's strike number 2. A couple fastballs down the middle. Lee doubled to left back in the second, was stranded at third. The Orleans Firebirds did score in that second frame to make the score 1-0. The high leg kick, the pitch. Missed to the outside. That is ball 1. So the count 1-2. It's Ryan Hagenau. 9 games his freshman season, 13 his sophomore year. The delivery. Hard ground ball to Torrin Montgomery on the first base side, and he'll make the grab. Backhand run over to first. 1 away in the bottom of the 4th. So Torrin Montgomery's done a really, really good job after taking a day off. Connor O'Brien took over at first on the defensive side. But Montgomery dropping to one knee, backhanding it, taking it himself to first. It's a 3 unassisted if you're scoring at home. And now delivering to the lefty batter. Road yes and run on a ground ball to first. That was a hard hit one that Montgomery, the Mizzou product, made the grab on as well, but in that case it scored a run. There's 1 away in the bottom of the 4th. The infield now fully covered in shadows as the sun is getting blocked off by the school buildings in front of us. Beautiful field here at Eldridge Park. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Down swinging goes Jacob Stinson, first K of the day for Ryan Hagenau. The third strikeout that this pitching staff has thrown between Jacek and Hagenau, and entering the right-hand batter's box, Diego Baquero, who flew out to right field in the second. Bat over the head of Baquero as he watches that ball go down the middle for strike 1. Pitch number 9 of the frame. Swung on slow roller, picked up by Montgomery near first base, steps on the bag. A 9-pitch 4th for Ryan Hagenau in relief of Matt Jacek. He goes 1-2-3 with a strikeout in the process. 1-0 Firebirds over the Gatemen. We head to the 5th.
Whether it's life insurance to safeguard your loved ones, an umbrella policy to protect your teen driver, or making sure your home is covered from storm damage, Rogers Gray is there to guide you. Insurance is more than just a box to check. Trust Rogers Gray, a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Need physical therapy? Select Physical Therapy works directly with you and your physician to create a plan of care that meets your goals and needs, with 6 locations on Cape Cod and more across the country. Select Physical Therapy is the official provider of athletic training for the Wareham Gatemen.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Looking for a turnkey rental experience on the Cape? Gibson Sotheby's International Realty has a dedicated team of rental professionals ready to provide homeowners and guests with exceptional service. For Cape Cod rentals, nothing compares. Each office is independently owned and operated. Sotheby's International Realty is a registered trademark.
The sun has pseudo set here at Eldridge Park as the trees and the school buildings are blocking it off from our vantage point field level as the pitch is delivered from Conti inside, called strike 1 to Torrin Montgomery. It's batting out of the 7-hole, batted out of the 6-hole in the opener. That was a win over Hyannis, but flew out to left in the second inning. He's 0 for 1 today. Good crack of the bat, ground ball to the second base side, throws over to first. Furman to Sim, one away on the second pitch of the frame from Sam Conti. So Alex, this Wareham offense has struggled so mightily to just get hits. Only 10 hits on the season. Coincidentally, Orleans has the same amount. How does Wareham find that stride? Because so far, it seems you get on base, and because you can't hit, you're never going to drive them home. So even if you get on with a walk or a leadoff single, nothing doing there. Pitch delivered to Clark, and he swings and misses.
Well, I think the biggest thing is if you go to the baseball analytics route, they're doing everything right. They're hitting the ball hard. They're making good contact. They're just hitting them right at guys. So I think the baseball analytics route would tell you things will start to turn around.
And they hope they do, as Kellum Clark is hit on what looked like the left elbow, as he'll take off his hitter sleeve and waltz his way to first. So a hit by pitch on a fastball that just veered a bit too much inside. And could that spell good news for a Wareham team that saw Kellum Clark now reach for the second time today? Didn't score him back in the third inning, but could gain a little momentum based off a mistake from Conti.
Well, they've had base runners on every inning except the fourth, so definitely trying to get something going here.
Caden Rose looks to bunt, pulls back, called strike 1. And maybe that's the technique. You have no outs in the top of the 5th inning. You bunt the runner over, get someone in scoring position for the second time today, and that can result in a run. Sam Conti, the lefty, he toes the rubber, looks toward the plate, now throws it over to first. Kellum Clark, for the 5th time today, slides back into first safely as he's checked on at first base. And you talked about it. Kellum Clark's not known for stealing bags, but either way, these Orleans pitchers have made it known that they don't want Wareham to even attempt it. Conti the pitch, and that's going to be inside off the bat on a bunting attempt from Caden Rose. So another pitch inside, but looks like Harvey Shapiro has turned to the technique of move the runner over, and so far it hasn't worked because a pair of bunting attempts have resulted in a pair of strikes. The count 0-2. Caden Rose 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging in the third. With the count 0-2, Conti's going to deliver the pitch. Down the middle, in there for strike 3. Ringing up Caden Rose as the home plate ump, Tony Venturini, and Rose will have to saunter back to the dugout after his second strikeout of the game.
That is a tough at bat, especially after Clark got hit by a pitch on first base. You try to move him over, and you try to kind of rely on the speed of Rose. Doesn't go your way. Strikeout looking. So now it's up to Hausinger to try to get something going here with a 2-out rally.
Well, Hausinger does have a hit this season. That was a single in the first game. Walk back in the first, grounded out in a fielder's choice over to the first base side. That pitch, helmet level to Hausinger, count 1-0. Jack Hausinger's senior year at Ezeir batted .311, but in the final 16 games, all in the month of May, .371 average with 15 ribbies and more walks than strikeouts. So trying to bring that momentum here into the Cape Cod League in June. A pitch that is high for another ball, count 2-0.
Again, a lot of these gateman hitters have been seeing really great at bats, so that's the biggest thing that I think that we should be just really focusing in on. Yeah, no runs yet, but 3 hits on the day and just really good at bats.
And one time there's been a runner in scoring position, Hausinger will take a hack and cut that one foul behind the plate as it soars into the forest behind us. The third time around the lineup for the Gatemen. You mentioned it, Alex. Wareham Gatemen have had a runner on base in 4 out of the 5 innings so far. Never moved past third base as Kellum Clark was stranded there with runners at the corners just a couple innings ago as that pitch is high. Count 3-0. It's dropped by the catcher Lee, but he's able to corral it before Kellum Clark can even think about second base.
Also, just plus getting to the rhythm of playing every day again. You know, most of these guys, again, you have midweeks in college, but it's really just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday rotation that you play through. But now it's not too many guys that played on a Tuesday.
Yeah, your unconventional Tuesdays, that's low and a 4-pitch walk, or pardon me, a 5-pitch walk to Jack Hausinger on a 3-1 count, a fastball that missed way out of the zone low, and Kellum Clark will advance to second. First walk of the day given up by Sam Conti, who relieved the starting pitcher Alex Amalfi after the third.
And this is one of the best hitters in this Gateman lineup. You're in a big spot. And this is how you really change the narrative in these clutch situations with 2 away as we get later into the game.
And the guy you want up at the plate is Hogan Windish out of the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, batting out of the 2-hole. He's done that for now the first 3 games. 3 hits on the season, that's more than anyone on the team. The lefty pitch swung on hard rip to deep left field, but it goes foul over the netting. Good contact from Hogan Windish, but couldn't provide that North Carolina flair to keep it in play.
You know, just try to straighten up that swing a little bit and try to do it again. And just hope that wasn't the one pitch that you could really get a hold of in this at bat.
It's a conference second team player back in 2019. A lot of prowess. Swings at that breaking ball, high fly ball to deep left field. It's ranging foul. Racing toward it is Stinson, and he'll watch it veer foul. So good contact on both of those pitches, but both, unfortunately for the Gatemen, go foul and out of play. So the count 0-2. As Conti's been testing right down the middle, and Hogan Windish has connected twice, but both foul to the left side. The lefty pitcher with a runner at first and second. With 2 away. High fly ball to deep center field. Moving to his right is Cunningham. He'll make the grab, and that'll be the 3rd out of the innings. The Wareham Gatemen get 2 on yet again. And yet again, they don't score and still trail the Orleans Firebirds 1-0. We'll head to the bottom half of the frame here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It only takes 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap. Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy as a treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern Massachusetts. Founded in 1855, the bank's mission is to enrich the lives of those it serves while contributing to the health and vitality of its communities. Cape Cod 5 provides a full range of banking solutions, including personal and business banking, residential mortgages, investment management, and trust services.
Milton Cat is proud to support the Cape Cod Baseball League, from paving and landscaping to recreational boating and facility management. Milton Cat has the right equipment, parts, service, and technology to keep you working. Visit miltoncat.com to learn more. Back at Eldridge Park, first road game for the Gatemen. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. We're in the bottom fifth. Back out for a second inning of work as Ryan Hagen out of Kentucky delivers the righty pitch, misses a bit low. And that's to the lefty batter, Nate Furman out of the 9-hole, grounded out to second in the second inning. The 1-0 pitch misses outside. Ryan Hagen now, huge product heading to Kentucky, and I say heading because he's in his sophomore season or just finished it, but was the highest recruit ever to commit to Kentucky. In there for strike one on the fastball. Your number 2 player overall and top pitcher from Tennessee by both Perfect Game and Prep Baseball Report. Headed to Kentucky as a fastball is in there on the inside, called ball 3. The count 3-1. Ahead of the count is Nate Furman out of Charlotte. The pitch cracked to the left side, foul. The count goes full. And although Wareham has really struggled in the batting department, the pitchers have done all they could to keep the Gatemen in all 3 of these games. The best ERAs in the entire Cape Cod Baseball League. The payoff pitch, grounder to short. Hausinger scoops it up over to first, 1 away. And Jack Hausinger, so cool, calm, and collected out there, and although you can credit the pitching for being so phenomenal to open up the season, the infield's been great as well.
Yeah, again, defensively and pitching-wise, this team is a solidified team, maybe one of the best in the Cape. And now we're starting to see the offense trying to break out. They've been threatening almost every single inning. So hopefully that is just signs of things to turn around for all the departments.
And even if batting can't get it done, the pitching has gotten it done so far this season. The 2-1 win over Hyannis and a 2-2 tie against Bourne. As that fastball escapes the glove of Campos behind the dish. That's ball 1, count 1-0. And this pitching has been so good for the Wareham Gatemen. Batters a 161 average against these pitchers. That's called strike 1 to Travis Honeyman, the 3rd time that he's come to the plate today. He walked in the 1st and then grounded out to the shortstop in the 3rd. Right fielder Honeyman stands in. The pitch is outside. That's called ball 2. As Hagen now adjusts the hair, puts the hat back on. He gets ready to set this one up off the rubber on the right side. He extends and delivers. It's low, called strike 2. Honeyman gives it a nod. Didn't agree with the call. The deuces wild, count 2-2 with 1 away in the 5th. Orleans up 1-0. The delivery. Swung on, one hopper through the gap, through the right side of the infield, and it'll dribble into the glove of Farrow. A single and a base hit for Travis Honeyman, the 2nd time he's been on base today. And that is the 1st hit for the Orleans Firebirds since the 2nd inning. How about that, Alex? In the 3rd and the 4th inning, a couple walks, put a couple runners on, but Orleans has been neutralized ever since they scored in the 2nd. Now it's Luke Keischel, 0 for 2 today. Takes a couple practice swings as he took that strike down the middle, count 0-1. The designated hitter out of the University of San Diego, 15 multi-hit efforts in Northern California this past spring. Was a WCC Freshman of the Year as well. Just wrapped up his sophomore season as he takes it inside for strike 2. Looking on, taps his bat to the plate. Runner at first, Hagenau. Set at the letters, delivers the pitch a bit high and outside. Ball 1, count 1-2. So 3 hits for the Wareham Gatemen, 3 hits for the Orleans Firebirds on a picturesque day at Eldridge Park. Wareham, a win and a tie to open up the season. Runner at first here in the 5th. The delivery, swung on, ground ball on the left side, through for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Orleans Firebirds, and they've started to get on a roll here in the 5th with one away. Runners at first and second, and the second hit of the season for Luke Keischel.
Yeah, the last time the Firebirds were able to get back-to-back hits, that's how it resulted in the first run of the game and the only run of the game. So definitely a dangerous spot if you're one of the Wareham pitchers right here.
And there was a couple different hitters. It was Kevin Sim and Bennett Lee, but this time it's Travis Honeyman and Luke Keischel with back-to-back hits. And now Ryan Hagenau is pitched into sort of a jam here with runners at first and second, delivering to Jacob Wilson, the righty, as Hagenau's going to call for a time, do a little twirl of his fingers to allow Campos to run through the pitching sequence again. Campos with his left arm and his glove over his left knee, and now sets at the waist. So does Hagenau. Looks off at second, delivers the first pitch to Wilson. It's low and outside, and good block off from Campos. Jacob Wilson walked in the 3rd, lined out to the shortstop Hausinger in the 1st. So 0 for 1 today out of Grand Canyon University, and a cool statistic on him, 7 strikeouts in the spring, 25 walks drawn. Really patient at the plate. Bouncing his bat off of his shoulder, Hagenau. There's the pitch. Campos is going to leap up to his feet, check on the runner at first, but both get back to the bag, and that was called a ball. Jacob Wilson coming off a .358 season with 12 bombs in the spring. With 2 runners on and only 1 away, the pitch is in there for strike number 2. Bit to the outside, but the favorable call from home plate ump Tony Venturini.
And you can tell the difference in Hagenau as the inning continues, just trying to slow the game down for his own pace here.
And doing so well. Misses high. Jacob Wilson at the plate. Trusty hitter, batting .250 on the Cape season. Pitch from Hagenau, runners go. It's a soft liner into right. It gets down, runner coming home and stepping on the bag for the Orleans' second run of the day. Round in 3rd, and coming to the plate, Honeyman showing off his speed. Back-to-back singles for the Orleans Firebirds. It's 2-0 Firebirds over Gateman. First RBI of the season for Jacob Wilson as Campos and Montgomery head out to the mound to talk it over with Ryan Hagenau. And Orleans has figured the right-hander out. A single from Travis Honeyman after Nate Furman grounded to the shortstop Hausinger. It's followed up by the 2-hole hitter Luke Keischel. Only had 1 hit entering this game. Got his second one, another single. That was to the left side of the infield. Made it through that 5.5 hole. And Jacob Wilson, that RBI single, is now Hagenau's going to get a word from the Wareham pitching coach.
Oh, and this is the old-fashioned way of letting your bullpen get hot. First you have the catcher, first baseman Montgomery in this case, to go out and talk with Hagenau, and now you have your pitching coach go out there to just extend it a little more, just to buy a little more time. And then if they do decide they want to go to the bullpen, we'll see probably Coach Harvey Shapiro make his slowest as he could before taking Hagenau out of the game to go to the bullpen.
But instead of Harvey Shapiro out there, it is Eddie Marco, who will now jog back to the dugout. And you wonder when Shapiro will make the move with only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. And with 2 runners still on and a runner coming home, 2-0 Firebirds, and Hagenau to try to find some sort of rhythm and maybe force the 4-hole hitter Jake Cunningham into a double play ball. So Hagenau, this ball at his right hip, now brings it to his glove. Looks over at second, the pitch. The opening pitch called strike 1 to Jake Cunningham. 0 for 1 today with the strikeout in the first, walk back in the 3rd. One of 3 walks surrendered by the Gateman pitching staff. Making a second start today. Started it right yesterday in center field. Today did Jake Cunningham, but is at the plate trying to drive in a couple more runs in there for strike 2. So Ed Marco goes out there, the pitching coach for the Wareham Gatemen. All of a sudden, Hagenau develops that fastball, delivers 2 down the pipe.
Also gave him a longer breather just to kind of get back in the groove of things after 3 hits in a row, all singles, just kind of get back in his mindset.
Doesn't swing and strikes out looking. Jake Cunningham is frozen. And Ryan Hagenau with his second strikeout of his outing, much needed after a trio of singles in a row. 2 away in the 5th brings up Kevin Sim, who leads this team in batting average. Sim is 1 for 2 today. A single, he also scored a run. He grounded out in the 3rd. That fastball misses outside, count 1-0. At first is Jacob Wilson. Luke Keischel is at second. Jacob Wilson with an RBI single to bring home Travis Honeyman. That's why the score is 2-0 after the Firebirds also scored in the 2nd. The fastball's in there for strike number 1. So the count even 1-1 to Kevin Sim. He entered this game batting .333, but had only 1 hit because he walked 4 times. Runners at first and second, large lead at first. A pitch, Campos going to test the runner at first. Both are going to slide back safely. I mentioned that Jacob Wilson was probably 5 or 6 feet off of first and then took an extra jump off that pitch from Hagenau. Wasn't thinking about going, but Campos was thinking about him. There's a strike called, so the count is 1-2. Pardon me, that's flipped the count 2-1 as that was called a ball on the outside. There's the 2-1 pitch, fouled back into the dugout. The count 2-2. Harvey Shapiro to the left of us, telling his team his infield nothing through. The second baseman Blake Wright playing more towards second base. The shift is on to the left side of the infield. Hagenau, the 2-2 in the dirt. Count moves full. Orleans up 2-0 after fielder's choice RBI by Jacob Stinson in the 2nd, and an RBI single a couple at bats ago from Jacob Wilson, who stands at first. Runners at first and second, they're going to go, and that pitch a bit high on that payoff try from Ryan Hagenau. And that's a walk to load up the bases. Second time Kevin Sim has been on base today.
And it appears that Coach Shapiro is going to stick with Hagenau here, even though the base is loaded. Putting all the trust here to get the toughest out of any inning, and that's the 3rd one.
And that's to do so against Bennett Lee, who had a double in the 2nd and moved the runners to 2nd and 3rd, and he'll try to move a runner from maybe 2nd or 3rd to home this time. So Lee 0 for 2 entering this game, picked up his first hit of the summer back in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, is 1 for 2 out of Tulane. Here's the pitch, bit low.
And you have to be careful. Wilson has the speed, so a base hit would most likely score him. And you can't walk Lee here because that would also score a run.
Indeed, with the bases loaded, Hagenau looks on. Count even 1-1 with 2 away in the 5th. Here's the pitch. It's high and outside for ball 2. It's the bottom of the 5th, 2 away. Kevin Sim at first, Jacob Wilson at 2nd, Luke Keischel at 3rd. Stepping in the batter's box on the right side. 2 balls, 1 strike the count to Bennett Lee, already a double today. Hagenau gets set. The delivery. Trying to frame it as Campos, he does so well. And now the count's 2-2. A huge pitch upcoming from Hagenau. after giving up 3 singles and a walk here in the 5th. Trying to stem the tide. Deuces wild, the 2-2. Swung on, slow roller. Hausinger scoops, tosses over to first, bobbled it a bit, but got it to first base. Montgomery makes the grab. And although the Orleans Firebirds scored 1, you can tip your cap to Ryan Hagenau for keeping it at 1. As the Orleans Firebirds leave the bases loaded. And we head to the top of the 6th in a much more manageable game. It's 2-0 between the Firebirds and the Gatemen. We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod, free of charge. On behalf of the 9 other teams, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2022 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Gibson Sotheby's, Curry College, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod, Badger Sport, Zephyr Hats, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Milton Cat, Mosquito Marys, Massachusetts State Lottery. We will be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors. The sun is set at Eldridge Park. We've passed the 8 o'clock hour with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir here on the Gateman Baseball Network. New pitcher in for the Firebirds after Orleans' team has done a really good job keeping the Gatemen off the board. Yes, the Gatemen have supplied some runners, but nothing to show for it. 2 really good innings from Sam Conti after 3 even better innings from Alex Amalfi, and that gives way to yet another left-hander. The first time that the Wareham Gatemen are seeing 2 left-handers in the same ball game. It's Josh Allen out of Duke University, a lefty standing at 6'2", 205, sophomore out of Florida. And no, we're not trying to confuse you. Josh Allen is his name, and yes, it's the same spelling as the Buffalo Bills quarterback and the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive end. But he plays at Duke, and he also plays for the Orleans Firebirds. Allen in 2022 for the Blue Devils with a 6.52 ERA, known for his relief appearances in 38 2/3 innings of work. Struck out 48, walked 18. He played against teams like Virginia Tech, who at one point was number 2 in the country, NC State, who many think got snubbed into the College Baseball World Series or even just the tournament at that, Georgia Tech, who just happened to lose in the Supers, Notre Dame, who just took down number 1 Tennessee. So you're talking about a reliever that's seen a whole lot of prowess. It's Josh Allen. It's the lefty, pumps and fires. Low pitch, ball 1 to Max Anderson, who's 0 for 2 today. And we're in the 6th inning with the Wareham Gatemen trailing 2-0. The lefty delivery for the 1-0 pitch, down the middle, strike 1 called. A thunderous roar let out by the home plate umpire, Tony Venturini. Max Anderson will stare down the barrel at a 1-1 count. Nebraska Cornhusker will look at it. Swung on. High fly. It's lofted into shallow right center. The catch is made. Honeyman drifted in and made the grab. That one sailed up there for a whole long time. And it falls into the glove of Honeyman, the right fielder, 1 away in the 6th. And Alex, we've talked about good contact, but when will the Gatemen get runners on and then have good contact? You can lift as many baseballs in the air as you want, but putting it through and trying to get a couple runners across is so integral, and the Gatemen haven't been able to do so. Strike 1 called to Blake Wright, the cleanup hitter, who was 0 for 2 today with a pair of ground balls.
I think that's why Baseball is so great because you never do know when those big hits are going to come through.
Could it be right here? The lefty pump, the lefty delivery from Josh Allen. Blake Wright will wave it off, and that's a ball high. So the count 1-1, one away in the top half of the sixth. The Gatemen have yet to score. The pitch from Allen, Blake Wright holds up. Says first base umpire Tom Reiber, who's already been an umpire for a Gateman game this season, the second time that he's been on the field with the dark blue and maroon. So Blake Wright holds off on that one out of Clemson in the dirt. The count 2-1, here's the pitch from Allen. Wright fouls it back, a souvenir that a little kid will chase after, and it'll bounce into the parking lot of the adjacent school. Josh Allen, his hometown in Florida. Lefty pitcher went to Duke, pitching in the ACC, and now up here in Massachusetts. The lefty delivery in the dirt. So count moves full to Blake Wright, who entered this game 1 for 5, 2 ribbies, which is interesting to see because the Gatemen have scored 4 runs. It's a guy in Blake Wright that has been huge in the production category. One away, the payoff pitch from Allen. The lefty pump, the lefty fire. High and a swing and a miss. Blake Wright went for it all, was swinging for the fences. That's the second out of the top of the sixth. Good heater upstairs from Josh Allen. Elevated fastball from against Blake Wright from Josh Allen. That was impressive. You can see why he's pitched so much in a really stout ACC. Blake Wright swung out of his shoes and now delivers to Farrow. And this is going to be a quick inning as it's popped up to shallow center field. Moving back as the second baseman to kind of do a running act and make the catch. Nate Furman had to think about it where it was, Cirque du Soleil style, and found the ball in the air, made the catch. A really, really quick inning for Josh Allen. And again, the Gatemen held scoreless. We head to the bottom half of the sixth. The Firebirds lead the Gatemen 2-0.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod. So even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. No trip to the Cape is complete without a trip to Soft as a Grape.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. In-person and online classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in accounting, business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Tom and Jean Yockey were passionate about the game of baseball. Over their 7 decades as owners of the Boston Red Sox, the Yockeys greatly invested in youth and amateur athletics in our community. They recognized the important skills baseball can bring to players both on and off the field: cooperation, respect, teamwork, friendships, and confidence. The Yockey Foundation has been proud to support the Cape League for more than 25 years.
Back at Eldridge Park, the Wareham Gatemen trail the Orleans Firebirds in Game 3 of 44 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. With Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. New pitcher on for the Wareham Gatemen is Eric Swan, the righty out of Middle Tennessee State. You want tall, you get tall. 6'6", 240, just finished his sophomore season, is from Tennessee as well. His father, Roe, played football at LSU with his mother, Laura, was a swimmer at LSU, so a very athletic family. And just by the way he pitches, a really, really strong righty that almost has a sidewinder approach to his throw. A 7.62 ERA and 52 innings of work as a sophomore at Middle Tennessee State. Had a 10 strikeout performance in 5 2/3 against Old Dominion in March. So he can really toe the rubber and pile up those Ks. And right now for the Wareham Gatemen, it's just keeping the Orleans Firebirds at an arm's length distance. To lead off, it's the 7-hole hitter Jacob Stinson. He'll fake it one, and that'll be ball one as Campos threw that past the outstretched 6-6 reach of Eric Swan, and Hausinger has the assist, throwing it back to Swan. The count 1-0 to the lefty. Stinson 0 for 2 on the day. Swan gets ready and delivers. And that one clearly in the mid-90s on that fastball. The count 2-0 to Jacob Stinson. The righty pitcher delivers. It's high, but clips the strike zone. Called strike one, 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Swan with the pitch on a 2-1 count, fouled back right near the plate. 2-2. The home plate umpire is going to head over to Eric Swan and give him a new baseball. Swan will examine it, confirm with Tony Venturini, and Eric Swan, who at Middle Tennessee State is a freshman at a 3.57 ERA, of course, didn't have as many innings of work, and as he grew into his role, was more of a mainstay in that Middle Tennessee State bullpen. But his ERA doubled from freshman to sophomore year, which is not a great sign. Big reason why he's here in the Cape. Slow roller down the third base line. Anderson scoops bullets over to first. He's out of there. Max Anderson, a great sidewinder throw as that one just tickled the third base line, and Torrin Montgomery, all 6'4" of him, stretched out to make the grab. And Eric Swan gets his first out of the 6th, and that's a really good sign to see a great play by Max Anderson at third. And you wonder when Harvey Shapiro will think, okay, Max Anderson's my everyday third baseman with how he's playing at the position. Swan lifts up the blue glove, throws the pitch. It's fouled way back. Hits off a building behind on that swing from Diego Baquero. 0 for 2 today with the fly out to right in the second inning and a ground out to the first baseman Montgomery in the fourth. Swan the pitch with an 0-1 count. It's lifted high to shallow left field, moving in windish, and had to reorganize himself to make that grab, but does so. The 2 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. And when you look ahead of this Wareham offense, only 3 hits. 10 hits total in now 2.5 games. And the pitching has done all it can do. It's been so good. Only given up 5 runs. It's resulted in a win and a tie, but right now, the offense, it's a lack of production. This pitching has done its job. It's only given up 2 runs. The delivery from Swan in there for strike 1.
The Gateman offense have left 5 runners on base so far today, and over half of those were in scoring position, just unable to get them in.
The hard-throwing righty, the pitch, it's a bouncer up the middle, dive, Hausinger over to first off a bounce, Montgomery can't corral it, and Nate Furman will be safe at first, and that'll go out of play. So the first base ump, Tom Reiber, will send Nate Furman over to second base because that ball did dribble out of play. And Furman will take his time to get his gloves off. What a great job by Hausinger out of Ezeir to dive to his left, and he tried to throw it from his knees. Montgomery couldn't corral, but it looked like Furman was going to be safe at first anyway. And that ball took an unfortunate bounce for the Gateman, went out of play, past the glove of Montgomery. Advancing to second is Nate Furman.
One of those plays that if it happened, it would have been one of those electric all-time great plays.
But instead, it's a web gem that's left on the field from Jack Hausinger. He made one at the end of that Hyannis game to close out the first win of the season for this Wareham Gateman team, unable to do so there. And as a running scoring position with 2 away in the 6th. Stepping up the leadoff hitter, Travis Honeyman. Honeyman swinging hard at that pitch upstairs. An elevated fastball, and it looks like Eric Swan is taking full control of touching that upper 90s range with the fastball. Honeyman, a single in the 5th, ended up scoring that second run, grounded out into the 3rd, and walked and stole a base to open this game in the 1st, which seems like such a long time ago as the sun is set here at Eldridge Park. A bouncer up the middle right, scoops it up, throws it over to first base, so that pass ball that went awry from Montgomery on that toss from Hausinger proves to be non-lethal and proves in the favor of the Gatemen after a grounder forced by Eric Swan. And we're through 6. It's the Orleans Firebirds at home leading your Wareham Gatemen 2-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. If you or a family member have been hurt at work, don't wait for the insurance company to discontinue your benefits or deny you medical treatment. Get an experienced workers' compensation attorney now before it's too late. The lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP, have been practicing workers' compensation law for many years and are experts in the field of workers' compensation law. Having the advantage of retaining an attorney early on may make all the difference in your case. Know your rights. Be prepared and contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham and 2318 Acushnet Avenue in New Bedford. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website www.rkm-law.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It only takes 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
In the top of the 7th, in the first road game of the season for the Wareham Gatemen with Alex Feuz, I'm Cameron Ezeir. Leading off for the Wareham Gatemen is Ryan Campos, the catcher, 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out in the 4th, grounded out into a double play in the 2nd. Campos will set up on the left side. Out of Arizona State, arrived in the Cape just a couple days ago. Trying to revive a Wareham offense that has found no life in the first 2.5 games. Only 3 hits for the Gatemen, but that one's roped into center field, but the catch is made in the lefty glove of Cunningham. It's a good contact. The crack of the bat was pure, but right into the glove of Cunningham, and that'll send up Torrin Montgomery in the 7 hole, rocking the number 14. He'll be heading to Miami in the fall. Or pardon me. It's Torrin Montgomery at Mizzou. He headed from Boise State over to Missouri. Good stature on Torrin Montgomery and Ian Farrow, who's the one heading to Miami. And Torrin Montgomery's going to take a rip at the first pitch, and it's going to bounce into foul territory down the right field line. A Wareham offense that's been non-existent entered this game with the worst batting average in the Cape at 125, trailing 2-0. 1 away after Campos flew out to center. Here in the top of the 7th, the breaking ball had a little too much break before it even reached the plate. Bounced in the dirt, count 1-1. Torrin Montgomery, a ground out and a fly out in this game, 0 for 2. Still searching for hit number 1 of the summer. The lefty pitch in the dirt from Josh Allen, who entered the game in the last inning, went 1-2-3 with Anderson, Wright, and Farrow. Retired Campos, that's 4 straight. Now 5 straight Gatemen have been retired. Torrin trying to change that as Montgomery looks at the pitch. Oh, that clipped the bottom of the zone, and the catcher Lee loved that one. A good fastball that had a bit of cut to it. Count 2-2. One away. Allen peers down the strike zone. The lefty delivery. Here's the toss, the 2-2. Montgomery gets a little contact, a slow chopper to the second baseman, picked up Furman over to first to Sim. In time to get Montgomery as he sped down first, but not fast enough. 2 away, top of the 7th. Makes way for Kellum Clark, who looks like at it for a time he was going to bat from the right side, but switches over to that favorable and natural left. Lefty on lefty, Allen to Clark. Duke to Mississippi State. First pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball that Clark tips foul. Kellum Clark, a single in the 3rd, 1 of 3 hits for the Gatemen. Hit by a pitch in the 5th. That was the inning where the Gatemen had 2 on. 2 times this game the Gatemen have had 2 on base, but haven't been able to deliver any RBIs as that pitch is inside. Almost hits Clark again from Allen on that breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. A gorgeous day at Eldridge Park. Two away in the 7th, the pitch. That one didn't have enough break on it, missed high, count 2-1. Clark looking to reach base for the 3rd time today. No runners on, 2 away. Clark is not going to try to dig that fastball down low out, and it's called strike number 2. So deuces are wild, Alex. 2-2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 7th, no one on. Allen. The straight line drive over to Clark. Had a break in it. Clark went. And Josh Allen goes 1-2-3 for the 2nd consecutive frame. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Orleans offense will look to pile it on, leading 2-0.
We want our money to work as hard for us when we retire as we did working to accumulate it. My name is Steve Anzoni, and I am president of Fairway Financial Insurance Agency. Money is just a tool to help you to do what you ultimately want to do, which is to travel, spend time with your kids, grandkids, and do other stuff. And I want to be the guy that's going to help you navigate the course of life, to help you avoid those sand traps and get you onto the green and into the hole with greater financial confidence.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Just past the 7th inning stretch at Eldridge Park. Eric Swan back out on the mound as the Gatemen trail the Firebirds 2-0. It's a run in the 2nd, a run in the 5th, and that's what separates these 2 teams. First road game for the Gatemen, the first out-of-division game for the Gatemen, and luckily for Wareham, it's the early portion of the season, so these hitting woes most likely not continue as players start to adapt to the wood bats. They're so used to metal, and maybe the pitching also picks up because it's been so good for this Wareham Gatemen team. Another positive is we're back to the 8-team format in the playoffs, so not like last season where only 4 teams make it, 2 from each division. So Wareham more of an opportunity. All but 2 teams, all but the last team in each division will make the playoffs, which is the positive for Wareham.
Yeah, no doubt, and especially as the season goes along, you'll get used to seeing just the amount of talent pitching-wise. It's tough to see everyone's number 1 through a whole 9-inning game.
Teeth of the order for the Firebirds, Luke Keischel at the plate. Eric Swan delivers the pitch near the head of Keischel, misses high, ball 1. Luke Keischel is 1 for 3 on the day, lined out in the first, struck out looking in the third, a single in the fifth, was stranded in the fifth. Bases were loaded in the fifth. The Firebirds could only scratch across one. That's called strike one. The count 1-1. Eric Swan in his second inning of work saw 4 batters, gave up 1 single, but the Firebirds stranded 1 at second. So Swan seeing his 5th batter of the day. That pitch misses outside. So count 2-1 to Luke Keeschel, the designated hitter, the first time that he's assumed that role in the Cape. He's played third base the other 2 days. Swan gets ready, sets and pitches. Hard hit ball up the middle, backhanded right. He'll look toward first, throw it that way in time. Great play from Blake Wright, and that's why you have him out there. Beats out the speedy Keeschel 1 away. Hey, the bats might not be hot, Alex, but the pitching's been great. The defense has, at times, been even better. And there's a lot of positives you can take away for a Wareham team that's still trying to get into the groove of playing with each other. That middle infield of Blake Wright at second and Jack Hausinger at short has been phenomenal.
Right, and especially just the relationship between Peter Burns and Eric Swan on the mound just really continuing here this inning.
Yeah, one thing to mention, Peter Burns, a part of that new battery after Campos was taken out, Burns out of Boston College. So Swan delivers to Peter Burns, who saw action in the first game, didn't see it yesterday, as the catching position was handed over to Cole Elvis of Cal. The pitch, a bouncer down the first base line, scooped up by Montgomery. He was already stepping on first, so probably the easiest out he'll ever record, as it skipped off the grass and entered the dirt and then entered the glove on the ground of Montgomery. 2 away in the bottom half of the 7th. Eric Swan is twirling right now in a relief effort.
Yeah, Montgomery made sure that he got a hold of it before it rolled foul to get that easy out at first base.
Which will now give way to Jake Cunningham after Jacob Wilson was retired. He'll hack one foul as it hooks over to the right side. And the berm of fans here at Eldridge Park. So Keeschel retired off a great play from Blake Wright, and then a grounder to the first baseman by Jacob Wilson. Now Jake Cunningham in the 4-hole. The cleanup batter watches that one go right down the pipe. Called strike 2, count 0-2. So Eric Swan facing his 7th batter. And a look to go 1-2-3 for the first time today here in the 7th. Could prove pivotal, turning it over to the offense. Here's the fastball, ground ball to short. Jack Hausinger, what a pick, over to first, got him! The pitching has been great, the defense even better. Blake Wright and Jack Hausinger have been vacuum cleaners in the middle infield. We head to the top of the 8th as the Wareham offense looks to get it going at Eldridge Park. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
We want our money to work as hard for us when we retire as we did working to accumulate it. My name is Steve Anzoni, and I am president of Fairway Financial Insurance Agency. Money is just a tool to help you to do what you ultimately want to do, which is to travel, spend time with your kids, grandkids, and do other stuff. And I want to be the guy that's going to help you navigate the course of life to help you avoid those sand traps and get you onto the green and into the hole with greater financial confidence.
The Gateman would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gateman players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
At Eldridge Park, first road game of the season for the Wareham Gatemen, and the offense has really struggled. We're in the top of the 8th, and the Gatemen without a run against the Firebirds. Orleans 2, Wareham nothing in the third game of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. One positive for this Gatemen team is who they have coming up to the plate. Not just because it's Caden Rose, who was so good at Alabama, but also he was the leadoff hitter in the first 2 games, so you're pretty much putting your everyday leadoff hitter in the 9-hole to almost create a double leadoff hitter scenario where your 9-hole hitter is pretty much your leadoff guy. And then Jack Hausinger, who is leading off and is in the top of the lineup, is also a leadoff guy. So in the best way possible that I can put it, there's 2 guys that can swing the bat and hopefully get on base for Wareham, and that's a positive for Harvey Shapiro and company.
Right, and then if those guys do their job, either get on base or somehow score quickly, you got Windish, Anderson, and Wright, who is the heart of this Wareham lineup that, again, hasn't really been hitting on all cylinders, but while, yeah, they do trail 2-0 and only have 3 hits, they have had runners on base. They have all been left on base, but still, this is just trying to switch things around and just get something going. And they only trail by 2, so nothing's out of the ordinary. But the way it's been going, it's been tough to even scratch 1 run across the game. So we'll see if they're able to get something going here late in this game here in the top of the 8th.
Kellum Clark was stranded at third earlier on in this game. Wareham has only mustered 3 hits, and the last 7 Gatemen batters have been retired. New pitcher on for the Orleans Firebirds is Ben Shields, and of George Mason, the senior. There will be a senior upcoming in the fall. As he delivers to Caden Rose, who struck out twice today. His summer has not gone to plan in the first couple games, as that's called a ball, count 1-1. And this is a guy in Caden Rose out of Alabama that was on the 2022 SEC All-Tourney team in late May and played teams like Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Florida. So he can hit. And does hit, cracks that one to deep left center field, moving back. Cunningham ranges to his right, makes the grab for out number 1 of the 8th. Yeah, put a good ride into it, but right into the glove, a can of corn for Cunningham.
Right, just got under it there, but again, the hard contact hits. While it was straight away in center field, you just hope that, again, that those things start to turn around. That's the analytics route, Ken. That's how people would view this the last few games of this season.
Caden Rose started the season 0 for 10. Now the order is flipped the 4th time today. Jack Hausinger is at the plate, has walked twice, so he's 0 for 1, grounded out into a fielder's choice in the 3rd. The lefty batter is in the 5-hole in the first 2 games, now batting leadoff. 4th time around the lineup for the Gatemen. The pitch from Shields is high but called for strike 1. So singles on the board. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the top of the 8th. The 1-1 delivery from Ben Shields. The lefty throw. High and almost hits Jack Hausinger. It's been a workhorse on the defensive end, but hasn't produced that much on the offensive side. Yes, his batting 142 coming into this game, and that batting average will lower, especially because he's 0 for 1 on the day. But pair of walks, he's been patient at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Shields, the pitch. Hausinger again will contort out of that inside pitch. Favorable count, 3-1 for the Ezeir product. 3 hits the Gatemen have mustered. 10 hits in 2.5 games. Can Hausinger turn the tide? The 3-1 pitch from Shields. Hausinger down the first base bag. It bounces off the bag. Over to first to cover it is the pitcher Shields. And Hausinger will get there in time as Shields had to drop to his knees to try to scoop that ball, but Hausinger's speed beat out the throw. Took a nasty chop down the first base line off the dirt. Hit that first base bag. Bounced into foul territory. Sim was able to grab it off a weird hop. but he had no angle to run toward first to try to beat out the speedy Hausinger. Backing it up was Shields, but I don't think he realized that Sim wouldn't have a play on it.
Right, and that's only their 4th hit of the game, but again, the 4 hits doesn't tell the whole story. Out of the 27 plate appearances the Gatemen have had, 19 of those have been in play. So again, that's a large percentage of balls put in play, and you're seeing it try to turn right here.
Especially because if you take a glance at that Hyannis game, it's a Gateman and Harbor Hawks duo that combined for 22 strikeouts, and the Gatemen held 12 of them. So it's a Wareham team finally getting contact. It's just about changing your bat head angle and maybe put it into play. As Hogan Windish watches that one in there for strike number 2. So Hausinger's at first after 8 straight batters were retired by this pitching staff for the Firebirds. So a good sign to at least see someone on base for the first time since the 5th inning. Swung on. High fly ball to shallow left field, moving in, running with pace is Stinson. He's under it, makes the grab. Hausinger races back to first. Ran into Hogan Windish as he was trotting back to the dugout, but no harm, no foul. Runner at first, 2 away in the top of the 8th. Possibly the second to last chance for Wareham to get on the board. But you wonder if this might be their best chance with a runner at first. But there is 2 away for Max Anderson. 0 for 3 on the day. 0 for 9 on the season. Does have an RBI, had 1 against Bourne yesterday. Swings way too late on that fastball down the middle.
If you're a baseball fan that believes in due, Max Anderson is one of those guys who's due for a hit. You mentioned 0 for 9. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but things sometimes change, and especially for a guy that's due.
The lefty Shields pitches, swing and a miss, and Max Anderson just a bit off in his form. 2 late swings for a guy that batted .352 following a Big Ten Freshman of the Year nod in the spring. So Ben Shields a chance to retire the side. The 0-2 delivery lifts up the kick, the delivery. It's swung on, shallow right center field, drifting to his left, Cunningham. He'll make the catch as him and Honeyman converge, and the Wareham Gatemen yet again held scoreless in a frame. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Firebirds looking for insurance runs, up 2 on the Wareham Baseball Network.
Serving southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Office Technology Group has been the area's source for advanced digital multifunctional copiers since 2009. Call Office Technology Group at 508-858-5825.
Reed Custom Soils is New England's leading provider of lightweight planting soil for green roof installations and is the exclusive New England supplier of stabilized stone dust. Reed Custom Soils services over 300 golf courses.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
The game's winding down here at Eldridge Park, and the Wareham Gatemen have still yet to scratch across a run with Alex Feuz. I'm Cameron Ezeir. Eric Swan back out on the bump. The third pitcher that this Gateman team has set out. Matt Jasek started things off, did give up a run, but also struck out a couple in 3 innings of work. Was followed up by Ryan Hagenow, and he got into a bit of a jam in the 5th, only gave up 1 run, and Eric Swan has done his due diligence, has faced 7 batters, 5 of them have grounded out. Now Kevin Sim will kick things off in the 8th, the first baseman out of the 5-hole. Hard thrown fastball that's fouled out of play, and it'll fall into a slew of fans here at Eldridge Park. Kevin Sim, a single in the 2nd. In the third, he grounded out. In the fifth, he walked. 1 for 2 on the day for the University of San Diego product. Swing and a miss on that breaking ball from Swan. He's been able to control his sequence, has Swan, out of Middle Tennessee State with that baby blue glove. Sim the righty, Swan the righty. It's Swan to Sim. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, fouled away. So the count's 0-2 with no outs in the bottom of the 8th. The Gatemen are down to their final 3 outs on the offensive end, but it's really important to just keep this Firebirds team at bay, maybe get it to the 9th and find some offense. Swan looks at his glove, now looks at the plate, swings, or throws the pitch. Sim is the one that swings, fouls it off into the glove of Burns. That's a strikeout, and Eric Swan picks up his first strikeout of his relief appearance and is now retired the last 4.
Yeah, so far Swan's fastball topping out around 99 coming out of the bullpen today, and obviously only allowing 1 hit in his third innings of work here.
That 1 hit was a single back in the 6th. We're in the 8th. There's 1 away. The righty, the pitch over to the righty batter who swings and misses. It's a pinch hitter for this Firebirds team. Number 25 in that nice red and black, Connor Burns. Connor Burns, a catcher that started on opening day and has been the guy for this Firebirds team, but just today turned the catching duties over to Bennett Lee, who started the last couple games. To set the wind, the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. So count 1-2 to Connor Burns, a 6'1", 190 catcher out of Cal State Long Beach, entering his junior season in the fall. The Swan doesn't like the pitch. He'll nod it off, clap together his blue glove, and now deliver the pitch. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Burns, his first plate appearance, and he strikes out swinging. Back-to-back Ks delivered from Eric Swan. How much can we say it, Alex? His pitching staff's been phenomenal.
Right,
They've gotten out of jams.
Right, and it's unfortunate just that the offense hasn't been able to do their part yet. Again, the pressure mounting as the season continues.
2 away in the 8th. The bottom half of it showing bunt laying off. It's Jacob Stinson, the left fielder, who's 0 for 3 on the day and does have that RBI in the second off a fielder's choice grounder to Torrin Montgomery at first. Eric Swan deals. He sets in the pitch. Another grounder to Montgomery for the second time today. Jacob Stinson grounds out to Torrin. 1-2-3 for the second straight inning for Eric Swan, but it's the offense that's struggling for Wareham. Could be the final frame. We head to the top of the ninth. The Gatemen trail the Firebirds 2-0.
Serving southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Office Technology Group has been the area's source for advanced digital multifunctional copiers since 2009. Call Office Technology Group at 508-858-5825.
Need physical therapy? Select Physical Therapy works directly with you and your physician to create a plan of care that meets your goals and needs, with 6 locations on Cape Cod and more across the country. Select Physical Therapy is the official provider of athletic training for the Wareham Gatemen.
The 2022 Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game will be hosted by the Wareham Gatemen on Saturday, July 23rd. Join the CCBL's best as they take to the diamond in front of scouts from every MLB organization here at Spillane Field. Gates open at 2 p.m., Home Run Derby will begin at 5, and first pitch is at 6:05 p.m. Tickets will be available through the league and Gateman website.
Top of the ninth, last-ditch effort for the Wareham Gatemen, trailing 2-0 to the Orleans Firebirds. We welcome you back to Eldridge Park. Ben Shields back on the mound for his second inning of work for the Firebirds, rocking number 45 and standing at 6'4", George Mason. And for the Wareham Gatemen, 4 hits today. And 4 hits is actually the Gatemen's season high in hits. Had only 3 in that opening day win against Hyannis and 4 in that tie against Bourne. Both were at home. This is the first road game. A reminder, off day tomorrow for the Gatemen, the first of the season. And then the next day, they'll continue the road trip against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who they defeated 2-1 on opening day. That'll be a 6 o'clock first pitch. Then at Brewster the next day at 5, and then at home against Falmouth on Saturday. But right now, order of business is try to take care of this top of the 9th, and right now the Orleans Firebirds are the ones taking care of the Wareham Gatemen, up 2-0.
We'll see if the 2-strike approach is on, where you're just taking and just trying to work a good at-bat.
Inside pitch called strike, count 2-1. To Blake Wright, the cleanup hitter that's done everything but clean up. 0 for 3 on the day. A strikeout in the 6th, pair of groundouts in the 1st and the 4th. Hard hit ball to the gap in right center, but there on the shift in the outfield is Hunneman. And Blake Wright is retired for the first out of the 9th. Now, Alex, you might not believe this, but after that flyout, the Wareham Gatemen on the season are a whopping 11 of 78. Now, I'm no mathematician, but I can assume that's not good. This Gateman team has really struggled to just get the ball in play and past the infield. Good pitch in there from Shields on Ian Farrow, who has one of the Gateman's 4 hits today. It's 1 for 3, a single in the 2nd, but a struck out and a pop out in the last 2 at bats. In the top of the 9th, the pitch upstairs on the delivery by the lefty Shields. So it'll be Ian Farrow at the plate. And right behind him will be a pinch hitter for this Gateman team in Connor O'Brien. The lefty stares at his glove, now the plate. Deals the delivery in there for a strike, count 1-2. Ben Shields has done a great job shielding off any Gateman comeback. The score is still 2-0 in favor of the Firebirds. Farrow standing in on the right side of the batter's box with his bat equidistant to where his helmet is over his shoulder. Here's the pitch, the 1-2 breaking ball. Slow roller scooped up by the third baseman on a hop. Becerra over to first. The stretch by Sim, it's there. As much as you can laud this pitching staff for Orleans, and as much as you can laud the Wareham defense, you got to say the same about the Orleans Firebirds. They've done a great job keeping the ball out of the outfield, and on that grounder, a great throw from Becerra, an even better stretch from Sim. 2 away, and the Gatemen are down to their final out.
And just on that play, Cam, you saw it. I mean, he just stole a hit away from Farrow. So, again, that just goes into it. They've just not been able to have their luck on their side.
And you wonder when that luck will start to come for this Wareham team, but now down to their final out. Connor O'Brien, his first at-bat today, shields the pitch. O'Brien swinging on the first pitch, fouls it back to the right side. And it's interesting because you talk about the inconsistencies of these batters, and maybe it is switching from metal to wood, but also Kelly Nicholson for this Firebirds team throwing out a lot of lefties. Something the Gatemen really haven't seen this season, just a whole lot of righties in the first 2. The lefty Shields throws that one over the glove of Bennett Lee behind the dish, and that's a ball. So the count 1-1, and the Firebirds a pair of strikes and 1 out away from picking up win number 1 on the season, as Torrin Montgomery will wait in the on-deck circle. Connor O'Brien out of Bradley. Started last game. Didn't play in the opener. The lefty pitch, breaking ball in there for strike 2, and the Gatemen are down to their final strike. Top of the 9th, Wareham trails 2-0. A pinch hitter, Connor O'Brien at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Orleans looking for win number 1. Wareham just trying to stay alive. Shields, the lefty, looks at his glove, thinks about the pitch, now lifts the leg. pups and fires toward O'Brien. He swings, he goes, and Orleans wins the ball game. Win number 1 of the young season for the Orleans Firebirds, and loss number 1 of the young season for the Wareham Gatemen, as Wareham only scratches across 4 hits, and again the offense struggles in a 2-0 win for the Firebirds. And Alex, it's the same story, but this time the pitching giving up 2 runs happened to be the dire part of this loss, which is crazy to think because the pitching staff actually did well, but it wasn't good enough to pick up this struggling offense.
Look, the pitching staff has done as best as they can. If you are going to say, hey, we got only 2 runs, we can limit the opposing team, that is phenomenal. That is, again, a crucial big part of the highlight of this team, which is the pitching staff. The offense just has to pick up their slack. I mean, the offense has struggled in the first 3 games, but again, you look at the statistics of it, almost 80% are balls put in play by the Gateman offense. So statistically, those will be the things that turn around eventually, and those are things you hope, if you are Harvey Shapiro, that you can start to see just how good this offense can be with their true potential. But the pitching has been phenomenal, and they just haven't got any support from the offense.
Yeah, this offense batting at an all-time worst, 11 for 80. So Wareham fans, you can rejoice later because the hitting has just not come to fruition as Harvey Shapiro and company have to stare down a loss for the first time this season, and now both Orleans and Wareham are 1-1-1 on the season. An off day for the Gatemen tomorrow, but then they're back on Thursday to take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at Hyannis as they're This is a part of a 3-game road trip. That'll be at 6 o'clock. You can catch it on the Gateman Baseball Network. And then the next day, this Gateman team takes on the Brewster Whitecaps at 5 o'clock. It's followed by a home game against the Falmouth Commodores on Saturday and Sunday.